Welcome everyone to quarterfinals day here at Noble's Apartment Cup. We've got two amazing sets for you today. Starting off with Yo versus Hart. Hart just booking his way in after a dramatic Game 5 against Doubt last night. Doubt was playing for Tato. He was already out, but still, he really wanted that win. And as Hart said this morning, he's able to clutch it up once again. I'm here with the new Noble in the apartment, one you might recognize. Nilly, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah, I've spent the last day here as well, looking through the games. Yesterday evening was so intense there, and Hart had a rough start into the group stage, right?
Yeah.
Losing his first two sets, and then 3 wins in a row, being down 2-1 yesterday evening as well. Doubt looked sharp, right? He was happy, he was in a good mood, and that's typically the time where you don't easily beat Doubt. And still Hart, really composed, still took it back, and now in the playoffs.
They have matched up once before. The second set, I believe that Hart played. Maybe the first set, I think the first one was against Leary, and then the second one was against Yo. He took it to game number 5. There was a couple games maybe he thought got away from him there. He said he kind of screwed up in a few of them. The High Tides game, notably, where Mr. Yo had to come out for gold at the last second. So these two have a history here at this event, and Yo has already taken the first victory, so we'll see if Yo can continue that forward. Notably, Mr. Yo is a slow starter at these type of tournaments. I think everyone except Doubt, when we were doing our predictions last night, had Mr. Yo winning this set. So if Hart wants to do this, he's going to have to do it from an underdog position against such an experienced foe in Mr. Yo. What do you think Hart needs to bring here to take it from Mr. Yo?
Feels like confidence was one of the most important things, right? He also, he takes time to really adjust here. He even told us that he kind of has imposter syndrome, right? Doesn't really feel like, am I a top 8 player? I'm a top 6 player in the world, competing with the best, qualifying over and over again. And I think shaking that off a bit will really help him. And just like I told him, you are constantly qualifying for all those tournaments. He's just coming out of a top 4 performance at Red Bull, right? He belongs here. He belongs into the playoffs. And if he realizes that and can play his own game, like the crazy scout aggression, we've seen Yo crumble to that.
And he kept saying, oh, I just feel like I'm getting lucky. And then Nilly and I were like, well, if you get lucky enough, statistically, that means that you probably belong here. And confidence is a big thing for him. Now, there were a couple players that booked their ticket to the semifinals automatically. If we could pull up the bracket, that would be great. We could take a look at that. The later set tonight is going to be Viper versus Vinchester immediately after this one. However, waiting in the semifinals for Viper or Vinchester is Leary. And waiting in the semifinals for Yo or Hart is the daunting prospect of facing Hera in a best of 7. It feels like whoever wins this is going to have to even step it up to the next level heading into that semifinal.
Yeah, Hera against Yo would be a rematch of NAC 5 finals, right? And where Hera looked like, okay, he can lose some games, but we couldn't really see him losing the full set, right? It was best of 9, Hera's prime. He did not get weaker, though. So Yo or Hart, massive task ahead of them, even if they win today.
What do you want to see in the draft here from Hart?
I actually already took a small look there. Let's remember they faced each other already, and Hart won on Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Instantly banned from Mr. Yo, so we won't see that. So that could be really nice. I want to see Hart with a lot of aggression. I want to see him with fast civilizations, open maps, and just really dictate the games. Don't get into this weird scenario small army, 3 scouts, walled, and then you have a sneaky siege workshop from Mr. Yo and he can dictate the game. You want to be the dictator.
Yeah, it feels like if Hart's going to win this, he's going to do it on timings. He's going to be first to Feudal Age, the initial army out first to Castle Age, right? First to Imperial Age. Mr. Yo, he just wants to survive. He realizes that the early game is one of his weakest elements. He wants to get to the late game scenarios, like that Tide Pool game yesterday against Ogao, which was insane. The Huns versus, Tarkans versus Mamelukes. We were talking about it. How often do you see them, Elite Mameluk and Elite Tarkan teched in the same game? It doesn't make sense. And Atheism.
And Tarkans teched, Elite Tarkans teched after Elite Mameluk.
Yeah. When there's a bunch on the field, that's just Mr. Yo for you, right? You told me, we were talking about late game players, and I said, lower APM players like Doubt and Yo managed to somehow be successful in the late game. And what Nilly said was, at least when I'm watching Doubt, I can understand what he's doing to win. With Mr. Yo, I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's wild, right? He takes so many small, weird engagements. It doesn't feel like super clean, but he's never losing massively, and he forces the opponent to, well, make mistakes. And if the game then drags out, Mr. Yo is so incredibly confident. But you also said, like, the timings is something that Hart needs to play. Mr. Yo, he wants to get to that late game. He waltz so much that he might put himself a bit too far behind from time to time.
So we'll take a look at the draft here. I think the players have completed it as we head in here. One last point on that. I think Mr. Yo is one of the best players at knowing exactly where his opponent is paying attention to. And then taking advantage of that and attacking somewhere else. And that's part of the thing that makes him so dangerous. So the first map of our series is going to be Bedouins. And as we can see, Chinese banned out, Cumans banned out, Georgians banned out. A lot of those very strong civs on Bedouins. It feels like you got to get rid of them really quickly in the draft.
Yeah, and Yo did not ban Jordans, right? We have the phase where both of them ban at the same time. In their first matchup, both of them actually decided to not play Jordans there. Yo now more confident. Also, interesting fact in this draft, both players pick one civilization before they actually start drafting the maps. And that was Mongols for Mr. Yo and Malay for Hart.
Yeah, Mongol's one of those timing civilizations. It's a great pick from Yo because it's also good late game, but it's another civ that you kind of want to get away from a player like Hart. You don't want to allow Mongols on something like High Tide, where he can just take advantage of a faster feudal age or take advantage of that hunt right away. So, Bedouins, we start off there. What are we thinking in terms of civilizations? Is Yo going to go for something like Hindustanis? Is he thinking something like Vietnamese? Like, what's the plan?
I try to counter what Hart is going for, because looking at those civs, it feels like Gujaras should be the civ to go for Bedouins. And then you have to think, okay, what do I want to play? Hindustanis, solid camels. Gujaras, not that happy to play camel, right? Then the economy is kind of equal. If that's how you want to start, it makes a lot of sense. Vietnamese on the other side, you kind of have to play CA. And then against Gujaras, it kind of gets tricky against Shivamshas.
Yeah, if you don't do the damage early, it's going to be a problem. So on the side from Mr. Yo, we also have High Tides, we have African reed beds, and then we have Dry River. Now, he did have a great Dry River game against Tata where he won from a, in my opinion, was an unwinnable position with the Burgundians where he just walls up, and that seems to be becoming the meta where people are just ignoring the fish in the center and walling up behind that. Berbers could be potential there. Maybe he wants to go for something a little bit, you know, weirder like Bengalis, just like a boom civilization behind, work into a unique unit. Mr. Yo loves to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about unique unit per se. Berbers is something I could certainly see. Bengalis feels like bypass, maybe? I don't see...
Or Citadel.
Something like that. Yeah, Aztecs could be bypass as well. Yeah, I think Berbers feels very reasonable to me. Big question mark is where we are playing Tatars. Also something we have to mention, Hart, first pick, Arabia. What is that telling us?
First pick Arabia. I mean, he feels like he can get the job done there. He's played more Arabia probably in the last couple of years than Mr. Yo has maybe. You know, he's grinding the ladder all the time. So he's very, very comfortable with that map. Also has picked bypass, and as you noted, he lost that bypass game against Doubt yesterday. Maybe a little bit demoralizing loss there, but still going with the Burmese. And the Burmese seems like a decent option if you can hit those timings. Doubt disrupted that really, really nicely with the tower push.
And Hart is someone who's really thorough when it comes to analyzing recorded games. And him knowing, okay, I played Burmese, I played bypass. What were my mistakes, right? I remember actually when I was still a player, like many moons ago, when I actually played and practiced a lot with Hart, practicing for TTL, he was looking through recorded games and actually wrote to me what I could have done better. Like, he is just so methodical, trying to learn from every single mistake, and that's why he's such a great player. And I don't think he will play the same style if it goes to Burmese on bypass again.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that he comes out to have a chat with us, but when he does, he kind of sits down for 20, 30 minutes and goes through a bunch of different games that he's played in the past, tournament results, his matchups, how he's feeling. So he's super thorough on that, and it's enjoyable to listen to him because he gets very enthusiastic about it too. It's not like one-word answers, right? He has a full knowledge of why he didn't win something or what he could have done better as we see the countdown for game number 1 of the first quarterfinals here at Noble Apartment Cup. And it's Hera versus Doubt.
Isn't that pretty?
It's beautiful. Yeah, if only. And it's going to be Bedouins, and oh my goodness, look at how close the TCs are going up here. We've got Heart a little bit closer to the edge of the map. Mr. Yo still not realizing that Heart is there, and Heart is going to find that TC with the goat or just lose it on that side. That is such a close start for both of them.
Yeah, both know each other. Like, they see instantly, okay, that goat switching sides once or twice.
Yep.
They know, okay, this is super short distance. So everything I told you before, like, okay, who has the better camels and such, throw all of that out of the window. This will be massive feudal aggression.
Hindustanis against Gujaras as Yo sends another. I'm not sure he was fully aware because he sent yet another goat over there, loses it again. I'd love to see like houses go up or something just to give yourself a little bit of an idea whether that's the extra 3 villagers over on that side or whether that's actually a TC. You can see the extra couple vills over there for Heart as he gets the goats inside of the mills. Gujaras, according to the pros, top 5 civilization on this map, and they're oftentimes available because the Chinese or the Cumans are banned out. How do you think they match up against the Hindustanis as the boar comes in now? Heart sees that, he's going to try and block.
Has 60 wood, could be a gate, could be a house.
He misses.
The gate. The aggro gets the shot off. Nice move forward.
Beautiful job from Heart. It's so tough to stall out the boars with a gate. It feels like you try that all the time, but you just miss it by half a tile. So excellent job there from Heart to stall out that boar. And now Yo still has the fish. He can find other boars, but it's going to be a problem that food eco to go up super quickly.
And not having the boar means you need to expand earlier, trying to get more shorefish. You need to invest in another mill a bit earlier. Makes it a bit tricky. And looking at Heart's map, it's really easy for him to go to lumber camp to the north.
That lumber camp is awful from Mr. Yo, isn't it?
It just can so easily get in range, no?
I don't think
he knows. But he sees the berry bush.
He saw the boar coming back.
He has to know. Like, oh yeah, you saw how he manually clicked the villager there?
Yeah, and then he sent it to the other side. So I guess the answer is no, or he just simply doesn't care. Scouting for Heart is looking okay. He confirms that this is where the TC is for Mr. Yo, and Mr. Yo is just running right into the TC with the villager. He loses it early.
Wow, no loom there. And that's a great start for Heart. Gets the boar, gets the villager kill, and Yo knows, wow, you're around the corner. Early uptime. This is the dream scenario for Heart so far.
So at least it's confirmation for Mr. Yo. He sacrificed a villager. He knows the TC is there. He's got really good scouting with the goats, and now he's just harvesting the goats as Heart is already on the way to the feudal age. I think that's the boar difference right there.
Also, like, simply having the lumber camp a bit better, right?
And the mill.
They are giving extra food there, being the Gojara bonus. That's 8 villagers on wood here. He only has 17 in total, but obviously should get a lot of... That's actually 10 on wood. Okay. Feels like a spear skirm opening and a potential for a tower there.
What's your thought process when you're this close, and how does it differ from having a TC on opposite sides of the map in Feudal Age?
Mobility is more important the longer the distance. Here it just feels we go for pure strength of the units, and that is spear skirm in short distance, so we won't see scout opening.
Oh, he's sending the vills to the other side. He doesn't realize. Back into the TC for Mr. Yo. Still doesn't have loom. It's a big risk every time they stray over there. And we're coming back to that lumber camp. Was that a smart idea? I think definitively we can say no right now. Probably should have been behind. And now he's got a tower to contend with. Needs to find himself enough wood to drop another lumber camp somewhere else. And needs to garrison these villagers pretty soon without loom.
Yo won't get an archery range. He has 60
No, he has to go for a lumber camp.
Yeah. Goes down there first. Oh, that's not pretty. Hard with a dream opening. Still no archery range from him. Obviously took quite some time to build that tower.
Yeah, Mr. Yo, down a boar, down a villager. Now has to abandon the lumber camp. He's going over here to place a new one, but it's going to be a while before he can get a production building. How does Mr. Yo manage to adapt in this situation, and what is he thinking after such a rough start?
Has 500 food as well. That actually will be both players going for scouts here most likely, simply because you want to invest so much food. The mindset for Yo has to be, okay, let's stay calm. I have only lost 1 villager so far. I feel like Hindustanis will be nice for me in the long run. Stay calm and give yourself a chance to start in this set. Not down 1-0 after like 12 minutes.
I think scouts might be good, even though how close they are. It might be good for Hart because he's pushed him off the lumber camp. So he knows that Mr. Yo is somewhere far away from that town center now. And Yo's going to have to make a lot of spearmen to defend. Town watch coming in from Mr. Yo. Nomad starts like max 1 or 2 villagers after he gets to feudal age, always researching town watch. He wants to know exactly when those units are coming in. He's not really the biggest quick waller in the world, so he needs the extra time to see when the scouts are coming. And that mill will have pretty good vision as he now goes for a tower on the mill from Hart, not only pushing those villagers away, but also potentially killing that mill and taking all those goats.
Would be nice, but theoretically Hart could build another mill, put some goats in there somewhere else, right? That is an option for him. But quite a nice aggression here for sure. Has enough spearmen. And Yo, no major losses yet.
Yeah, he's got enough spearmen to defend. He's adding scouts of his own. And Hart is on the run from that side. I'd love to see Yo go and attack that mill, maybe with the villagers. I think it's worth it in the long run.
900 HP. I think if it's the only mill, and you know it's the only goats, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But simply the fact that Hart could theoretically have another mill with also 4 goats in there, that makes it less efficient.
But he's going to do it anyway, because it's Mr. Yo. That mill is extremely offensive to him. He's going to take that out, and he's going to gain control of those 6 goats inside. His Hart is on the run with these villagers. Yo has a spearman there. He's got 3 spearmen there, so he might be able to cut these off. Great play from Mr. Yo to isolate these villagers and force the scouts to not be attacking him, but to be coming back here, trying to run cover. Both of those villagers should be dead, right?
One survives for now. Quick wall miss. Can he get this one? Feels like he has enough time, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, the other villager's still trying to run away. So it's 1-1 on the Eco KD. Res collected advantage still here for Hart. He walls that villager in, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And Mr. Yo with more scouts on the field than Hart. More villagers in the queue than Hart. He's got 4 spearmen on the field too. Hart's going for that archery range really, really quickly, but still, it's a great recovery from Yo.
Just feels like not enough army, right? 3 scouts, 2 spearmen there was all that he had. And made it tricky because you're spread so thin on this map.
Look at Yo controlling the movements of Hart by just keeping this army back here. So he doesn't have to worry about his villagers right now, although he's taken an engagement with the spearmen involved. That could be really rough as more scouts now come to join his initial army. And the range is just a little bit later. He did see the range from Hart. He knows he's behind in archer production, so he'll probably just go into Skirm Scout to try and counter this.
And Skirm Scout is totally fine on a map where you have so much free food, right? It's fast food income as well, so typically you feel like archers are the better option, but on a map with so much shorefish, I actually like Skirms.
Yeah, Skirms should be nice here. It's easy to keep them coming out. You don't have to place the farms yet because you can just put a mill on some shorefish. And once again, it's Hart hanging out near the back of his base and not pressuring Mr. Yo. He does still have a slightly better economy than Yo. He's got 400 resources collected extra, although he has had a little bit of extra idle TC and obviously lost that villager rather early. This guy's also not working.
Got it by the spearman. Doesn't a villager win a fight against the spearman? Could theoretically fight out, but it's so easy for
There's so many
to send
scouts
another
around.
unit. Yeah.
Yeah. And now the archers are positioned here on the fish. Mr. Yo, low numbers of skirmishers. Hart's chasing with the spears, so Yo's going to try and focus down those spearmen so he can engage with the scouts. It's a very, very difficult fight here, and it's Hart actually focusing down the spears from Mr. Yo, and Mr. Yo is going to struggle to take a good engagement. This is just, you have to retreat from this.
And that's what we said, Hart needs for the win, right? Scout Archer, micro to perfection, keeping the aggression up. This is the dream game one for Hart so far.
Even with the rough follow-up, I would say, losing the mill, losing the goats, he's managed to keep those timings, right? Faster to the range, faster to the archers. Now Yo is under pressure, ejects with some skirmishers, but doesn't have that many spearmen to deal with the scouts from Hart. So he needs to try and clear all the archers and all the spears before his scouts can take an equal engagement. He's going to take one here, constantly trying to pull Hart out of position, but Hart is just pushing forward, and now Hart has hits on those skirmishers. Yo has to respect the spearmen. Hart has all the momentum here, and Mr. Yo still fishing relatively near to this engagement, so he'll need to leave and find himself some more safe fish to take. That's going to be hard to find with Hart just all over his base.
Carry count 14 to 6, and this archery range can't really be used. Yo forced to build a defensive tower. Has 3 villagers on its
Look at the goat eco under the TC. He's already killed all of those goats, Mr. Yo. He had probably 8 goats the last time we saw under the TC. Nothing else for the Vills to do. And now there's 16 villagers trying to harvest from 2 goats. That is just a messy situation with Heart having a much larger military.
On gold for Heart. Maybe second archery range could be an option. Maybe a market as well. Look at his wood, look at his gold. Could be a good option. Tries to find some villager kills here. Tower still protecting. Villager's a bit out of position.
And it's a forward tower from Yo. So he realizes he can't really play this game with Heart, just military against military. He's going to have to take a position somewhere. He's already gone onto stone. He's getting that tower up. He's going to have enough stone for a follow-up tower. And suddenly, the game state is kind of shifted into one that Mr. Yo really enjoys, right? The messy games early, and then he can stabilize somehow and get his economy back on the same footing as Heart. Villager production for Mr. Yo has also been quite consistent. Only 1.5 minutes of idle TC in such a crazy game. Heart still only 1 minute and 45 seconds, but still, it's a little bit longer than Yo. So Yo is bridging the gap between them.
What a random house by Mr. Yo between the 2 pawns there, but actually buying himself quite some time, right? He keeps up the aggression to the right-hand side, now sees that the scouts are coming through, and I don't think he will have too many losses and bought himself some
Bloodlines
time.
came in. Bloodlines came in for Heart. I think a lot of those scouts were weak too, so he's going to get a little bit of extra HP on them. Most of those guys are relatively full HP, and he needs to respect this. Archers going down to the skirmishers, and the scouts from Mr. Yo are into the wood line. Unfortunately, some rough pathing for him, as the scouts can't decide which villagers to kill. Meanwhile, losing units to the TC. This is all going Mr. Yo's way in the last minute or so. He's really struggling to recover Heart ever since that forward tower, and now has to pull back all of his scouts to deal with this army.
Yo ahead by 3 villagers now, and that's what we said, right? The micro advantage for Heart, the macro advantage potentially for Mr. Yo.
Yo still can't push into that TC, but he's got the stone. He's going for horse collar now, so he's thinking about dropping some farms. Doesn't want to stretch out for these fish, and the spearman has found the villager, which is on the way home. Yo is going for another tower now in front of his gold, and the more towers that he adds, the harder and harder it is going to be for Heart to do damage to him in the feudal age.
Take a look here. Upgrades on the scouts, non-existent versus bloodlines here for Heart. Could be fine for him. Archer's doing more damage against the units as well. If it's not the skirmishes, willing to take this fight is hard. Yo just tries to buy time for sure.
Yeah, now if you look at it from Heart's POV, there's like 4 towers on the map.
Yeah.
It's really limiting the angles that you can fight from. I think a good strategy here for Heart might be to start walling up behind and then thinking about Castle Age. I mean, look at the gold that he's floating. If he gets a market, he can go up relatively soon.
Problem though, let's zoom out a bit. Heart, where's his next shorefish? I think he only has shorefish at the right side.
Yeah, he's got to go farms.
You don't want to expand here. He's out of shorefish at the 22-minute mark. That's way too early for this map. And Yo still has like 70% of the map.
Yeah, Yo is kind of trapping him in this corner, and Heart is forced to chase the army from Mr. Yo to protect those villagers. Yo now coming back towards the gold. A lot of those scouts are weak, and Heart has his scouts with more upgrades as he buys now the food to go up to Castle Age. He's on his way, but Mr. Yo is so close to joining him on the way up to Castle Age, as those camels are having a dance party over by the house. You love to see it. Is the other one going to go join? Oh, no. He's just watching. He's like, this is embarrassing.
It's like me at the party.
Hey, this is what the picture-in-picture is for. if this would be all that I would use it for on my stream. 100%.
You would need 5. 4 for
No, he
each
killed
corner.
it.
What? Why?
He killed it with the spearman. Heart.
What a party pooper.
They weren't doing anything to you. And that's karma right there. He loses a villager to the skirmishers. He's going to lose another one. Oh,
wow.
Not quite. I can't believe Mr. Yo didn't snipe that. Maybe distracted a little bit. And, ooh, Mr. Yo missing double bit axe. I was wondering why he was so far behind him. Res collected.
The game was so tense, right? Also, the sheep helped out a bit. Villagers had to run quite a bit, building all those towers. You're losing a lot of resources. Ooh,
and he lost 2 more. That's a great find from Heart, diving right under the tower. It's tough for Mr. Yo to keep track of everything. He does it so well normally. He had Town Watch early, but when you're focusing on the other side, it's really hard to keep tabs on all your villagers. Mr. Yo has 400 stone. Is Golem an option here, or would you just think about the castle for protection?
think just the castle, after deleting the lumber camp between the two town centers.
On his town center.
Makes it so tricky.
Yeah, and that's a really good entry point as Yo now loops the army around. Hart's going to see the villagers here. Yo goes for the pre-walls, and Hart sees the army, so he decides it's not a good idea. However, crossbow is on the way. Bloodlines and armor coming in for Yo. With the Hindustanis, he can't make knights, but he can go for a few camels, which with the extra attack speed are pretty good even against crossbows. And he's already got the army, he's already got the bloodlines for them. Man, this is turned into quite a close game. I thought Hart would just run away with this after that start, but in classic Yo fashion,
Look at
he's
that,
not giving up.
Though. Those skirms trying to chase down the crossbows. It feels like most of the crossbows should survive because the two scouts are killing the skirms.
Yeah, and Yo might actually lose the archers as well. Hart's going to see those archers coming in. Yo is trying to flank with those. He does kill one crossbow, but the scouts are dealing with the skirmishers. And it's only a couple camels here from Mr. Yo. As he's trying to drop a TC, he misjudged it. Hart looped back around this way. That's probably going to be a denied TC. The camels are neutralizing each other, and Mr. Yo is losing more villagers. Hart is taking control now. Early Castle Age.
That's 6 dead villagers here. That's so rough. And that was protected shorefish, wood, gold, so much map control on the left-hand side. Great find for Hart. And that's all credit to him saving those crossbows.
Yeah, and Mr. Yo still at only 400 stone. He spent 100 stone on that TC. It's not even going up. Loses another villager. Eco KD 12-3 in favor of Hart, and he adds a second town center behind. But look at Yo going all the way to the south. He's like, okay, you found that one over there. That was unlikely. Didn't think you'd find that. You're not going to find this one in the south. And I'm just going to exert the fact that I have, as you said, 70% of the map basically available to me. You're kind of stuck in that corner.
So many farms for this map. I'm really surprised. Typically, shorefish is just the dream scenario, but it was just so intense, right? And it was so tough to keep all those villagers protected at all times. That's why you want to go for the safe farms here. Camel count, scary low for Mr. Yo.
Which camel? I think the Hindustani camel barely wins in Castle Age against Gujara camel.
I would think so, yeah. And then Heavy Camel wins for Gujara, and then Imp Camel wins for Hindustani again.
Yeah, we saw that matchup yesterday. Imp Camel against Frontier Guards Heavy Camel, and the Imp Camel managed to hold the hill there for ACCM up against Tato, I believe. But that wasn't yesterday. That was the day before. No, that was yesterday.
So many beautiful
man, I'm just losing track. I'm losing track. I think all the sets I've done recently have been 5 games, so they're all blending together as Yo now takes a fight up against these camels. The crossbows are going to be the difference maker there, though. Pushing those camels away. This army for Hart will die, but he's got a follow-up army coming behind. He's got more crossbows in production. Yo now having a monk, so he can grab some of the relics, convert some of the camels, potentially, and continue his reboom attempt. That town center to the left still just like sitting out there, waiting to be completed. Such a tough position here for Yo as another villager gets caught out. Eco KD 13-3 in favor of Hart.
All of a sudden, he's 15 villagers ahead. Look at that beautiful play. Just kept the TCs running. 2 TCs, one of them under fire still.
Nice conversion.
Gets the conversion, though, Yo with the camel.
Yeah, really, really nice conversion there. Hart wasn't paying attention. Hart still has to contend with these towers. Mr. Yo can use them to save some villagers, and he's running again. The moving time for Mr. Yo must be insane. He's just been walking all over the map here with his villagers, woodline to woodline, trying to find new gold and everything. He doesn't have wheelbarrow. It's been really brutal, and I think that's a big reason that Hart is ahead by 2.5 res collected right now. It's not just the villager count, but it's the idle time that accumulates over the course of a game like this.
Yeah, that's something we most of the time ignore when we're thinking about, okay, someone is walling, someone is building towers. All those villagers building those defensive structures aren't collecting resources.
Well, we can see it. There's a screen in Capture Age if Vodka wants to shift over there. We can see the total time and the percentages as well. It's one of my favorite screens to use, and it'll show you the moving time. I mean, it's actually quite similar between the two of them, but if you look at the gathering time, Hart is ahead by over 30 minutes of villager gathering time.
Yeah, building time for Yo so much higher, and now beautifully crashing here through the center. And that's where we want to see Yo's castle, but he has been stuck at 300, 400 stone for quite some time.
Camels now coming in. Yo goes for the walls. Great wall-offs on that side. And the town center is about to go down. Yo hasn't decided to save that. Now he does. He's going to repair it a little bit. Still far away from that castle. He had to go for extra TCs. He's got 3 of them now, but this one, I mean, is inevitable. I think that it's going to die. Yo needs a Siege Workshop to stop that.
He has the Siege Walker around the corner. Mangnul at like 70%. Needs some good shots. Tries to go for a camel conversion. Should get it here, I believe. And now it has to be some miracle. Yo, Mangnul, micro.
Man, this setup from Heart, the tower early just pushed Yo off this position, and now Yo is forced to try and repair this TC, but it's going to soak up so much wood. The majority of his wood eco is going to go into repairing that. As Yo comes forward with the Mangonel, he gets one, but it's not enough. Heart snipes that down. Castle behind has just been bought by Mr. Yo, and will he have enough time to get this up? Because it feels like once this TC is down, Heart is just going to push forward here with the Monks, the Mangonels, and the Crossbows.
Camels are trying to buy some time here. Villagers relatively exposed, will lose lots of those farms. Tries to threaten an engagement, but he doesn't want to take one. He just wants to make sure that those crossbows are nowhere.
He sees the castle. Sees the castle. He's going to take out a villager, potentially. Still can't get super close. Probably needs to back up now. He's worried about something popping out of that Siege Workshop. I think that's the reason he didn't push in. And Yo indeed had a Mangonel coming out of that, but it's still quite a ways away. Villager count now 67 to 75.
Left-hand side, right-hand side? Are you
right
sending it back?
Right-hand side. Right-hand side.
80%. And Siege Work. Oh, it actually pops at the bottom.
And Heart didn't realize immediately there was a Mangonel there. It's going to take a little bit of damage, but this Mangonel should theoretically be dead. It's a good attack round there from Yo before it goes down. And the armor is now coming in for the Golems as Yo attempts to go for a raid. It's a good raid. I mean, a lot of those villagers are cut off at the north side of that gold. He might be able to kill a few of them if the camels are blocking. And it's a distraction for Heart. So for the first time in the wild, Yo gets a couple villagers from Heart. He's going to go into the wood line. We can see Eco KD now. Thank you, Vodka. 13 to 6.
This is the scenario that we might not see the last time this set. Heart, aggressive. Heart having the lead. But Yo gets the defensive castle up and is now playing unique units. That's his dream, right? He loves to play that with Burgundians, Spanish, Burmese, so many civilizations. And here he does it with the Gulams.
Yeah, and he's taken advantage of the fish. Like you said, he had the farms. He got horse color early because he didn't want to stretch out against that feudal army. But now there's not a whole lot of mobility here for Heart. So Yo can feel free to go to those other areas of the map. 24 on food for Mr. Yo. Now 24 on food for Heart. So he's done a good job balancing and getting some extra farms up of his own. Still ahead in resources collected to a pretty significant degree. But it kind of, you're just getting that sense. I've watched so many Yo games, you're getting that sense that he's clawing his way back from a position he never should have been able to.
Yo just needs some more outposts, right? And then it's even better for him to get some raids in. He doesn't really see something at the right-hand side, no real vision in the back.
+2 armor didn't come in on that blacksmith.
Really?
It went down, like the tech was just about to complete and it didn't go in.
And that's a good case to not realize ever,
yeah.
Right? You don't have the last armor upgrade, so you're not even trying to click it in him.
Yeah.
You might never realize that the second armor is not in.
Yeah, and I mean, Yo's going to look at his resources as he will lose this Mangonel. And Heart comes in with the crossbows. That's some ballsy micro right there. He's going to look at his resources, and he's going to think, wow, I'm really good at this game.
Yeah.
He's not going to think, oh, my second armor upgrade canceled, right? He's going to think like, wow, my macro is insane here, dude.
Hindustani, 80
yeah,
villagers.
Look at that. And the second armor upgrade not being in means the TCs kill these Golems a lot faster. As Yo tries to get a big shot, and it's a good one.
Gets the Mangonel at least, one more crossbow. Obviously doing some damage there is not the most important thing because Heart has those monks around for the healing. But still Siege Workshop, and it's scary for Heart right now. He's lacking mobility, and look, so many blue dots. We have another raid at the top as well.
And he goes back again. There's camels over there. There's Golems on the other side, even missing that armor, being pushed away by the monks. And Devotion now on the way from Mr. Yo. However, he lost track of them, and all three get converted by Heart. That was sick, Monk Micro. He sacrifices these villagers over here because he's not paying attention. What a crazy game we found ourselves in as Yo now adds the third town center to compete with the villager number from Heart. He's only 6 behind.
That's sick. And yeah, more will die.
Forward castle.
That is doing nothing, though. That's blocking some farms that we're not using.
I prefer it defensively, honestly, to stop the raids.
I think that's mainly for traps there, but we're not in the trap fight yet.
And look at the Golems. Look at the Golems. Even without the armor upgrade, they're going to take out the camels. They're going to take out the converted Golems, push back the crossbows. Oh, man, and the Golems are coming into the castle, and it's double Mangonel from Yo. How does he bring this back time and time again? Look at the eco now. Mr. Yo with the villager lead. Holy, Heart is really, really struggling here, and it looks like Yo's going to get the Golems back on his side as Heart is forced into a more defensive castle.
There's not a lot of stuff that can kill those two Mangonels, though. Those monks will be out of position. I think Heart needs to run quite a bit. That's the dream scenario now for Yo. It's crazy how we see both players kind of playing the style that they want.
Yep.
And the opponents doing the best thing to get them out of their comfort.
Heart sold 1,000 wood.
Sick.
He bought food, and he's on the way up to the Imperial Age. Now, I wonder when Yo recognizes this. Also, Yo taking the shorefish early is nice, but the farms are a far more consistent food economy, and he's just now dropping some more of them. So he might not be able to make his way up for a little bit here, and Heart might be able to take advantage of those timings. Heart also getting redemption. I mean, the forward castle from Mr. Yo is going to go down on this side, though. He's scrounged up enough stone, and Heart goes for a counter castle. He buys himself 200 stone. The Golems are coming in. They can sit under the TC for a little bit, still lacking that second armor. Clutch market wall from Heart. Heart is playing at such a high level here as Yo shifts the Mangonels over. Suddenly, we're feeling like the timing from Heart to Imperial Age might be pretty deadly against Yo.
Yeah, feels like two castles now set up defensively against the two aggressive castles from Mr. Yo. He might lose both of them before he reaches him.
But the resources. We went from 20 on food to 36 on food for Mr. Yo. We've got 104 villagers. He's stalling out production. He's fully realized that Heart is on the way to Imperial Age. Heart is 50 seconds away, and Mr. Yo clicks up to Imperial Age before Heart gets there. The Imp TC is in a safe location. He's got 3 others as well. He's even adding in a 5th. Town center, and the farms are coming down. Yo has control of 60%, 70% of the map, but Heart has the timing advantage to the Imperial Age, so Yo will probably lose one of those castles, if not both, and he just realized the second armor hasn't been completed this whole time.
At least that, right? It could have been easily overlooked. What are the next steps for Mr. Yo, though? He will lose his castles. He's heavily on stone. Wouldn't be surprised if he places a really defensive castle there. Ideally, I think you want to tech into hand cannons here, looking at what Heart has right now, but then the next step obviously would be Shivamshas.
I think it's like hand cannon Hussar for Yo. You raid with the Hussar and you try and hold with the hand cannons. Because then even if you force the Gujaras into camels, I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing. He's going to run out of gold at some point with the limited map control. They're really, really hard to mass and tech into. They take a long time. So I think he needs a raiding unit. Obviously, the Golems are going to struggle hard against the Chakram throwers, but look at the economy from Yo. Look at what he's done in just the last 2 minutes. 58 on food now. Yeah.
Crazy transition there, 22 on gold as well. Like, the resources should really be flying in, gets another raid in. This game is far from over.
Where are the golds from Heart? I see one there. Is there another one?
There's one at the right-hand side that he's taking.
Okay, so he's got gold for a little while longer.
It's like 7k gold. It's my rough estimation there in total. I will say 4.5k rough estimation. 4.4.
I'm resident math noble here at Noble's Apartment Cup. Oh man, Yo massing up the Golems. He can't take a fight right now. He's trying to pick away, and there's still a hole over there. Look, he was monitoring that hole with the camel. He was monitoring it. He knew it was there. The Golems are coming in. Heart on this gold with a lot of villagers. Doesn't fully recognize that the raid is here. Now he sees a good reaction from him to pull this back. Chemistry now on the way from Yo. Ballistics coming in for Heart, but he's only got the 6 crossbows.
Yeah, I think... Is crossbow the play? Maybe? Stani, what are the next steps for Gujaras?
I don't know.
You can't play?
It seems like a way easier game to play here for Yo.
Yeah, agreed.
You just macro your way.
He's doing 7
yeah, exactly. You have 50 on food. He's got 50 on food. He's got all the access to resources he needs. Pumping the stone now into repairing that castle. Population is 165 to 132 in favor of Yo, and it's actually Elite Chakram, or is that Elite Shravamsha? It's one of the two.
Likely Chakram.
Elite Chakram thrower coming in for Heart as he tries to take good engagements against the Golems. Chakrams, you really need like at least 20, I think, in a group to do value, because against most units. They're only doing 1 damage. They obviously had the pass-through, which is great. And you can see it in full effect there. But both the Trebs go down. Conversions coming in for Yo. Elite Golem on the way for him as well.
And now hand cannon production. Hand cannons are really solid. Just imagine if Yo gets the extra range for his hand cannons, then Chakrams are really struggling to take good engagement.
Yo has a 40 villager lead.
Tick.
Yo has a 40 villager lead. Think back, everyone. If you were here at the start of the game, think back of the way it all began for him as these Golems are getting absolutely massacred. Oh, man. This is insane. This is an insane performance here from Yo. Heart is still holding on, and we can see the potential for the Chakrams. We've seen it before. If you get a big group of them, they can basically fry everything. But Yo is massing up the hand cannons now, and once he gets Shatagni and gets that range advantage, it feels like most of the Chakrams die before they even get close.
Yeah, range advantage will be just too massive then. Feels like Hard could have really benefited from stone walls at the left-hand side. Could have saved so many headaches.
Yeah.
Could have been 25 more villagers, didn't need to follow all the raiding units over and over again. Could have fully focused on the push in the center.
Bombard cannons coming up to take out the Trebs. Yo is also trebbing them down with his own.
Hard
He's still repairing that castle.
Hard has redemption, so can convert those bombard cannons once they pop out. Monks are close by. Diving for the monks.
It's got the light cap going for the monks. Hart pulls those back. Great job there. The elite chakram thrower is absolutely feasting on everything, but here come the bombard cannons. And the Trebs are going down. Redemption is in, like you said, but block printing is not. That cannon still gets converted, though, so great job from Hart with the monk micro there. His cannon will go down, but the chakram throwers are dying one by one to the 9 range hand cannons from Mr. Yo. And Mr. Yo has still continued to repair that castle that's been under attack for a very long time, and now the Trebuchet need to back up once more.
Oh, if they can. One down, second one now has to run. And what's the next step for Hart? He's now going for the castle age upgrade that all his military units are cheaper in food, but that's not really putting something out on the map.
It kind of feels like he's locked into chakrams at the moment, like he's invested so much into them. That's what he's chosen to do. And now Lightcav is even coming in for him. I'd be interested to know how much gold Hart has left available. We saw 4.5k, I think, the first time we looked. It's dwindling. 1,100 over there and 1,600 over on the side. So he's running out of gold slowly but surely. Kshatriyas came in for Hart. If Gujaras can get the food eco set up and start spamming, they do have some of the cheapest Lightcav in the game.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're up against a man with full map control and a guy who has 9 range hand cannons.
It would be so much easier for me to believe in Hart if we saw like 80 farmers, 70 farmers, something like that, and he could really go into the spam, but just like every single light cap that he's building feels so costly right now.
And the Trebs are just getting sniped. I think that's probably the 6th Treb that we've seen go down from him. I mean, he can't keep up the pressure. Yo has a mix of bombard cannons and Trebs, which I love. There's another raid that got in from Mr. Yo. Final armor upgrade about to complete. He's kept the hole at the top open this whole time. And the castle for Hart is probably the last chance. If he can keep that alive, maybe he can hold. If that goes down, it's just an entry point right into his economy. And critically, he only has 2 castles to produce chakram throwers, which is his main unit composition right now.
Yeah, out of 1 castle, it's basically impossible to get onto proper numbers. So easy for Yo to just dive in and reduce those numbers. It feels like this is the timing already. Henkenyus moving in, castle might be falling, and another raid behind the scenes.
Yeah, and the GG is called. And the GG is called. And Hart has to be looking at that game and thinking like, wow, look at how much I did early.
Did you win 1 TC?
What?
Were you 1 TC?
No, I had a second TC right away. But I think you sent camels to the back of my base and it killed my whole wood line. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he lost 20 builds there.
Oh, Yo's the best.
Oh.
He never changes either, does he?
Yeah.
Like,
So dry.
he is, and it doesn't really feel like he's got an ego or anything like that. He realizes his place in the pro scene.
Yeah.
He's incredible, really, and I love these voice comms after the game, just because it really sums up what we experience here in the apartment or at other LAN events, where pros are actually talking about games after they play them because they're interested in what they did, what happened, what they didn't see. And I'm glad that everyone at home can experience that. It's fascinating. You actually hear less with these in the game room because they're focused than you would in the practice room.
Yeah, it feels like a family. Everyone is so nice to each other, and it's a blessing to have so many great events, and we can only have those great events because of our great sponsors.
And we're going to take you to a short break before game number 2. Thank you for being with us here. Yo versus Heart.
And now, a word from our partners.
A mouse! A mouse!
What is it, dear? Why you rage? Oh, honey. That's no ordinary mouse. It's the Reaper 250. With this mouse in your household, you never have to be scared again.
Yes, the U-Rage Reaper 250, featuring DPI control, advanced ergonomics, RGB lighting, and customizable buttons, is the perfect addition to every competitive household. Why U-Rage? It's all good. Get yours on mueller.de.
Welcome back. Noble Apartment Cup, game 2 of our first quarterfinal coming up. Like, how on earth does Hart just pull himself back together after that start, right? You had to think like, okay, I have this game. I have it. How can he come back from this position? And then you just slowly start being pushed back, and it's the yo effect.
Yeah. It's just coming back like yo-yo.
Oh. So if he goes down the first game?
Yo comes up again.
Okay.
And then you go down. It's guaranteed to be a 7-game set.
Yeah, but eventually the momentum won't carry it anymore, right? Well, I guess if you're
good at it.
Who's the puppet master?
Yo is.
Okay. So you heard it here. 4-3 for Mr. Yo. He's the one controlling. He's the one pulling the strings. And Hart is going to have to figure out how he's going to get those 3 wins because that was a really, really solid comeback from Yo. I think on the side of Mr. Yo, we have African rebeds. We have...
Let's take a look at the draft, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can't show you the draft right now. We'll get it to you in a second. But I know he has African rebeds. On the side of Hart, he's got Arabia. I think he's got Citadel. And he's got Bypass.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Arabia.
Arabia?
Is just the
Bread and
go-to.
butter?
It just felt like if this was Arabia and the map was a bit tighter and he could potato wall, he wins this early castle. Okay. Right? He kills the TC. He doesn't get raided in the back because those weird walls and the weird map design that Bedouins gives you.
Yep.
So I think Arabia, Hart would have been up 1-0, and he just wants to equalize as quickly as possible.
Okay. So he figures Arabia is his best chance. Could also go to Bypass if he has, faith in himself there. It's a bit more of a question mark. It is kind of like, I think the benefit for Hart is Yo knows that he's probably going to pick Burmese on Bypass. And Bypass for Hart is one where maybe he could call out one of the civilizations for Mr. Yo and eliminate it for future maps.
I think Bypass you kind of want to play once you feel more you're part of the set. Right? You want to have one win at least. You want to really feel the momentum. And we just got the confirmation. Citadel will be the pick.
Okay, so neither one of the maps that we predicted. Perfect. That's definitely...
Heartbrain.
Exactly. That's definitely up to par here with our predictions so far at NAC. Citadel will be the map pick. I believe Bengalis is a civilization that could be good there if we could pull that up whenever we have it.
Dravidians was one of the very early picks.
Dravidians might have been a pick as well.
Byzantines are still an option. We still have Malay for Hard. Not
Italians,
sure if we will see that.
There's potential there, but I think we'll probably see maybe the Byzantines or the Bengalis being played.
Something like that feels very reasonable. Obviously, you want to fight for water at the same time, and the rush distance is really short on land. So you feel like maybe Man-at-Arm opening, something we have seen. We have seen the crazy sneak from Doubt.
Yeah.
That was that would have been sick for the mainstream as well. He actually played Man-at-Arms into Sneak Tower, Archer Range at home, blacksmith and stable
It didn't
behind
work.
the...
And it's funny, too, because we were sitting on the couch watching it, and Nilly says, if I did this strategy, Doubt would make fun of me every single time. And then Viper looks at Nilly, he's like, yeah, but Doubt has a follow-up plan. You don't.
And then he loses after 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So what was the plan?
I think you're just getting bullied.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Years and years of being bullied. Poor Nilly. Anyway, Citadel is going to be the map. Byzantines over there, Dravidians over there for Heart. And then on the other side, of course, Bengali's a possibility, Italian's a possibility. We could also see some sort of mix-up. I mean, you could even go Mongols here if you're looking for the timings.
I think Mongols, Mr. Yo just feels very comfortable on African reed beds.
Probably.
That's likely the go-to. And Hittites might be Bengalis. Bypass Aztecs. So it feels like we're working ourselves towards Italians.
Okay. So you think Italians?
We're playing Vietnamese, maybe African. Might be Vietnamese on Arabia.
If you're thinking that Heart is going to play bypass and go all-in monks with Burmese, is it an option for you to go with Bengalis there? Is that your thought process?
I think that's solid, right? You just go monk, have better economy. You can add light cav, or you play Aztecs, and you can add some eagles, and it's just monk v monk. And we're going for Aztecs here. Okay, Mr. Yo, realizing short distance, makes those eagles really, really strong. I think this will be a bigger water investment for Heart and a very aggressive land play by Mr. Yo.
Yeah, and both players walling off their dock villagers right away, so we're not going to see a repeat of... Oh! We're going to see a repeat of Winchester sets here as Heart snipes the boar with the TC so many times. This has happened, and it's because players... I think, Nilly, it's because players are going for like the 6 and 7 garrison rather than the 4, which is way more consistent with the 3-shot.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that this happens so many times.
It happens so often.
I'm like, because let's think it back. Like a year ago, we've not seen it at all.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a recent change where the TC will continue targeting after you on-garrison, but that wasn't the problem there.
Yeah.
That was not the problem there because he never on-garrisoned at any point. So, I mean, it does make it faster on average and more consistent on average to shoot the boar with the TC if you can do it properly, which most pros can. Every once in a while, though, maybe every 1 in 100 lures or 1 in 50 lures, you're going to get punished, and that kills your timings, especially with a civ like Dravidians, where it's all about timings against the Aztecs. Yo now coming into the woodline. He could get walled in there. He's got to get out as soon as possible. Heart didn't realize he was there quick enough, and now Heart is going for Loom, and you can see the amount of villagers under the TC working away on those goats. Is he even going to have enough food to click up to the Feudal H?
Oh, it will be tight. I think it will be idle TC.
I don't think he will. He's going to be out of goats.
He has 2 fishing ships.
He needs to drop off with a fish. And those ones. Yeah. There's only 20 food available there.
Oh, idle TC in target. Something you never want to see.
501 food. 501 food, but now there's no food under the TC. He has to go to the mill now, to the berries, but he's busy. He's busy with the villager, and it's a quick wall from Yo. As he saves that villager, he came forward to try and snipe the villager from Heart. He does weaken the scout, and the eagle is chasing after. But quick walls from Yo, not something we see that often.
Obviously, he has some ping issues, right? Playing mainly against Americans and Europeans on the very high level. And this is a problem, actually. This villager being pushed back, that is so much out of his food income, right? That's a quarter of his food income. That single villager. Yeah,
and Yo finds it. Yo finds it. The scout is very weak here for Heart. It's 1 shot away, so it can't really help in that fight. Yo is just going to try and take out this villager. Maybe Heart can distract the eagle with the scout, but Heart is going to lose the villager, and then he's going to lose the scout. That eagle is the MVP.
2 kills already.
Look at him.
Give him a medal.
His name is Bill.
Bill the Eagle.
Bill the Eagle. Knowing Yo, he's just going to toss him into the TC now. He's actually pulling him back. He's actually pulling him back. Wood upgrade now coming in for Mr. Yo. He's faster to the Feudal Age. No surprise there after the food issues from Heart. And, I mean, this is even worse than the start last game for Mr. Yo.
Heart has 400 wood now. Obviously gets an additional 200. Starts farming 7 minutes into the game. Wanted ideally to have a second dock even because he has to win water having such a rough start.
And he sends the villager back out over there. He can't even afford the wood for his second dock, which feels so unusual with Dravidians. It feels like you always are floating wood in the feudal ages. The fire galley now comes in. He's got 2 more fire galleys in the queue. Actually fishing with that villager just to get a little bit of extra food income because his food income has been so rough to this point. Here comes the second eagle along with Bill onto the berries. Yo trying to harass, and Yo is following up with skirmishers as he continues to contest on the water. Resources collected. Look at that difference already. Just from sniping that one villager, Yo is ahead by almost 200 resources collected. Pretty significant, only 9 minutes into the game. And it's a forward tower.
Actually, it's not that much food on those berries, so I'm a bit surprised. If he wanted to do it, he could have done it way earlier. Maybe he wants to wall in the archery range? Is that an option? Counter tower here by Hard. Won't really be fighting with too many archers in those towers. Yo does not want to commit and, yeah, gives up the tower.
Yeah, and Hart is not deleting that tower just yet. You can see normally the player who's aggressive will delete the tower and leave, but Yo leaves that up just so Hart can continue building. Hart stops building now. If he deletes that tower, he will still have enough stone to go for another one as Mr. Yo positions his initial tower over on the right side now.
I don't like that tower, I believe. How much food are you blocking? Like 350 in total? Something like that? 450? Now villagers are actually pulling away. Has enough stone for the defensive tower.
Yeah, Hart does have enough stone here. He's got 14 in the bank, so he can't make another one. He's fully committed onto this tower now as Mr. Yo completes his. Bill does bite the dust there in front of the tower, but what an achievement it was for him early. What a role he had to play in the early start to this game, and that's the reason that Mr. Yo is so far forward. His Hart sends a villager to attack the tower. That villager is going to go down. More villagers coming forward from him, and I think this is already enough damage from Yo. He's just going to retreat and go back home.
Hard. She's stabilizing. 4 villagers behind, though.
5 on food is really rough.
Will be more idle TC behind this most likely, and Yo just plays really stable game. Should be winning the 2v1 fight here. We see some repairs. The villager under quite some threat. Hard. Nice block.
And also, and Yo's looping around to kill this extra villager that's repairing the fire. That's a great find there from him.
Goes for the fire first. And has to retreat. Nice move. Nice defense bout. Actually, like, the last 3-4 minutes have been really good for Hart.
I think one of the issues that is going to be the case for Hart is that he's making skirmishers, and Yo has the availability of the Eagles. So Yo has a counter unit he can make right away without adding an additional building. So that's really valuable for him. But if you get enough skirmishers on the field, the Eagles almost feel kind of useless in a way. If there's 10 plus, they can just whittle them down one shot at a time.
But then you're just avoiding fights. If you're Yo and want your castle age, well, then it's not one
good
shot.
demo. Great demo there for Yo, and he's back with the fires again. The fishing ships are still there for Hart critically. He needed that food, and now Hart is sniping all the skirmishers, and he's getting supplies. He's getting supplies. He's going to go into men-at-arms to counter the Eagles, or what? I don't even see militia production yet.
I think he's only anticipating the switch. That's really sick. Demo doesn't want to commit against the fishing ships there, so that is the nail in the coffin. Yo wins water. Hart might need to play feudal all in here. Yeah. But Yo, I think he's building a market at home. He's thinking about castling this.
Yeah, Yo is thinking about castle age. He knows how much damage he's done. He doesn't realize the full extent of the damage because he's not aware that Hart killed his boar early. But he saw the amount of farms, the amount of villagers he had on berries, and he knows he's killed the fish. So Yo is aware that Hart's food eco is nowhere near enough to go castle age. He's going to try and angle there himself. There is a period here, though, where Hart can take advantage. He's getting fletching, he's getting men-at-arms, and Mr. Yo has already placed that tower forward, so he will need to mine more stone, which he's doing right now, to have some defensive towers to help him out against this.
And he has the wood and gold so clumped up together in the back, right? So one single tower is actually protecting a lot of his resources, and those skirmishes would be so much better if they were aided with 2, maybe even 3 men-at-arms.
And here they come. First men-at-arms coming across the field. Villagers being sniped. Kind of not necessary for Yo to be engaging so long out here, and it's a second villager snipe from Hart with nothing but skirmishers.
Underestimated the strength of those skirms. Obviously, they don't do a lot of damage, but shooting so fast really helped.
Yeah, and Yo lost that skirmisher army in the back of Hart's base. Walls need to come down here from Yo to prevent the skirmishers and the men-at-arms from coming in. The gold is still under threat. That's a lot of skirmishers. They've already sniped villagers. There's enough of them there to do damage, and it's the armor upgrade from Hart. So Hart is reading that Yo is probably on the way to Castle Age. He knows he needs to do damage now. He's teching into a unit that can somewhat compete with Castle Age Eagles, and Yo is on the back foot in this game after taking such a distinct advantage early on in the Feudal Age.
And you would think, yeah, Yo easily getting Castle Age and he will overwhelm with Eagles. He only has one single barracks. He only has 5 Eagles right now. There's no chance to overwhelm. He's losing the heads-up fight right now.
He should probably drop another barracks right now. I think he's actually making a blacksmith up north there. And he's going to try and get his upgrades, but still an impressive pushback here from Hart as Yo is forced to go for more stone walls behind. The gold is in an unfortunate position there, but he does have another one to the right. So good map generation for him that he has 2 extra golds he can go to. And Castle Age is in. What is the plan for Mr. Yo? Is it a siege workshop? Is it another barracks? The Eagles are on the field. He's got 6 of them. It's going to be a monastery instead.
Against Feudal Age aggression? Typically, you want to have monks to convert strong units that are in low numbers. Against Feudal Age, you're converting a unit that is relatively low in value. So this surprises me. Obviously, Aztec great if he wants to pick up those relics. In the long run, having those monks won't hurt him at all.
I would have liked some scorpions here. They could have been good, right? And I think he could have afforded them. Yeah, even just like 2 scorpions could have cleared up this whole army or just pushed it away. But nevertheless, the Eagles are running forward. Still men-at-arms coming up from Hart. He's trying to buy himself as much time as possible. The relics will be sick if Mr. Yo can get them, but now the skirmishers have looped around the back, and Yo is migrating back to the front side of his base for safety. Both of the golds are cut off here. He has to delete a wall and escape with all of these villagers. There's the siege workshop. There's the scorpions. Hart has done a great job flipping the script here and putting all of the pressure on Yo after he was the one dealing with the army forward in early Feudal Age.
Crazy decision to go for that many men-at-arms. And you can see very number at the bottom right. 40% there. Worker efficiency in the last minute. Ooh. Mr. Yo had to run so much. Now tries to go for 1 conversion. 2 villagers stuck. 1 dead.
Both dead. Both dead. He does convert a men-at-arms, but like this is really, really solid time that Hart is giving himself to get to the Castle Age, to get those walls up. The market is coming up from Hart. Yo has lost villagers to this push, and it's such an unexpected investment into the men-at-arms. Out of 2 barracks, he got the armor upgrade, he got supplies, like just really, really insane from Hart. To 19 farms now for him because his food eco was not stellar early. 19 farms without horse collar, though. Those could come to bite him in the Castle Age. That's a lot of farms there that will need to be reseed.
He gets 200 extra wood, but that's 3 farms, and, well, yeah, will be tricky. Would love to see him get horse collar on the way to Castle Age, but first of all, he needs to survive. I wouldn't mind to see Ram next.
Monk goes down to the Feudal Age army. Villagers going down. Still, look at the Eco KD. It's evened here. As Hart is still pressuring on the goal, but now kind of out of men-at-arms. They're very weak. A couple Eagles could probably clear that up, and the Scorpion is over there as well. So game state, evening out here a little bit. Hart's about to click up to Castle Age. He lost a villager on the farm at the front to that Scorpion. And Mr. Yo is going to have secure gold. He's going to have secure stone, and he's going to have probably 3 minutes to do whatever he wants.
7 on stone with that stacks? Is he trying to go for Jaguars against the potential?
I mean, a forward castle wouldn't be the worst thing in the world here either. It would give you a great position, and Jaguars could be great against skirms and the longswordman line. If Hart wants to continue producing that, could be a really, really nice option as Hart tries to micro down that villager. He's not going to get it. That guy's going to survive. Now Yo has so much freedom. He can control the whole middle of the map. I think the priority should be relics right now, and he's going out for those. If the Aztecs get like 5 relics here, plus a fish boom that Yo is thinking of, it could be an unstoppable eco.
Yeah, 5 relics, 33% more gold generation with the Aztecs could be really, really nice for him. Obviously, 5 spawning around the shore and 2 in the middle there could be really nice. Now some pressure here. I think Yo might be surprised how many men-at-arms are on the field.
Well, he sees 2 barracks with flags on them.
Yeah.
So you have to think, okay, he's continuing to produce these. He's already made, I've seen at least 10 on my side of the map. So He's already made a lot as he now heals up the Eagles with the Monk. That's actually so good. He's applying so much pressure here. He knows Hart is on the way to Castle Age likely, but he wants to see how many men-at-arms are in that barracks and take out a production building. He saw them. Yo, if I'm Yo, I'm thinking about buying stone and getting that castle as quickly as possible for Jags.
Yeah. And 2-3 Jaguars are completely wrecking longswords.
That would be... It's not even a fair unit matchup in any sense. I think they 2-shot them or 3-shot them. It's so quick. The longswords can't really do anything. Yo, now with 9 on stone, 350. He's got a lot of gold. He's got a market as well. I mean, you could just buy that stone and put the castle right there at the front of Hart's base. Could be devastating if he still has an army to support. Hart gets to the Castle Age. Longsword coming in. Squires coming in. Infantry armor on the way for Yo, and he backs up.
I think he wants a castle at home. He thinks, okay, I have the better civilization. I will get 4 or 5 relics for myself. I just need to hold. Taking a bad engagement out here might cost me the game. Just fall back, play a bit longer.
Yeah, at least the Eagles being alive forces Hart to keep some units at home and keep an eye at home, right? Especially now that he's open. If Yo went for the raids, it could be a potential problem. Still, Monks getting good conversions against the Longswords. Eagles running cover for the Scorpions that are getting chip damage behind. The Longswords do really well against the Eagles, but the Scorpions getting a lot of damage against them, so Yo still takes a decent fight. The Monks can heal up the units behind as he runs away with a couple of those. Hart's still streaming in Longswords. He's going to clear up this army right here, but the castle is going up in Yo's base behind that, and I don't know if Hart is fully prepared to counter Jags. He's now just making a tech switch into archers, but all of this game he's been focused on producing the men-at-arms and the longswords. It's going to be a rough transition for him back over to crossbow to deal with the Jaguars.
So Scorpions did so much damage there. Mr. Yo tries to get up the defensive town center. More conversions are coming in. Maybe a house wall to block this one off. Really needed. Maybe another one. Oh, those are
sick.
stuck.
That's so sick. And he gets 2 conversions there too. The TC's going up. Can't be denied. And more longswords on the way from Hart. As he tries to make the archer transition, only 1 archer on the field. The Jags are coming out, one of the coolest looking units in the game, and such an insane attack boost against the infantry.
And the coolest sound animation as well. Like they're really clonking in.
Yeah. It's similar. It's kind of similar to the O-Book, right? It's got a very similar vibe to it. It's very deep sounding attack.
Bottom. Can't really find any damage. Wall's now working from the other side.
Okay, if Hart manages to stall this out, and he's had the second TC for quite a while here, so he's at 52 Vils against the 54 from Yo. I know Yo has the relics. He's ahead in eco because he's had less idle time, I think, or actually, no, he probably hasn't had less idle time. He just killed more villagers earlier. If Hart manages to stall this out, do the Dravidians match up well against the Aztecs in the late game?
I think if we get to the Dream army composition, we can get something rolling when it comes to like Onager, Arbalest, and you somehow get to avoid getting converted.
Yeah.
But it's so easy for Yo to just get Redemption Monks and Jaguars. And then I think Dravidians really struggle.
We've got Monks converting the longswords. Nothing in the middle there for Mr. Yo, but he already grabbed the relics. So he's got 4 of them just ticking away. He could maybe even sneak a Monk all the way across that citadel and grab the relics from Hart on the far shoreline too. That's the 5th one on the way in. Also, 8 fishing ships for Yo. So taking advantage of the water that Hart has fully given up on. And he'll go for a stone wall over that passage as Redemption now comes in for Yo.
Will this be in time, though, including the gate?
Yeah, it's going to be in time.
Stone walls. This army's coming over?
There's a bunch of monks there, though. Oh, there's crossbows as well. Crossbow tech 9 seconds away. The gate takes longer to build. Hart will see the Mangonel pushing the front side of his base. The Jags are behind.
Redemption will help out. I think this is going to get in.
It's going to get close.
I think he will be in. This could be some headache. He's trying to build a town center below. This could be really...
Oh, he notices so quickly. Yo notices so quickly. He's going to convert 3 of these crossbows, which should clear up the rest of them. The monks can heal the other monks, and he can potentially quick wall. It's not going to happen there, but still, he gets away with all of the monks.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect for Yo. Such a nice reaction, and Hart sees... Damn! Yo sees everything. And...
Yeah, I can't. I felt it. Unfortunate. I saw your meal.
Lost the board to the town center. Saying he saw it, and yeah, obviously with the game understanding of Mr. Yo, seeing the mill that early from the Vidians, he knew something had to be
That's
up.
insane recognition, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hart's like, I killed the boar with the TC, and Yo says, yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw the mill.
Yeah. Well, that's like they know so much about the game, right? They know all the build order, they all know all the timings, and if you play water, if you're trying to go for archers, you know, okay, well, typically it's mining camp first, then a slower mill. You should still have like 2-3 sheep. You should have enough food income as well from your ships, fishing ships. And Mr. Yo just sitting down, thinking this one through hard. I think very clever to take a small walk, trying to reset himself. He still has Arabia, he still has bypass. Obviously could theoretically also pick one of the home maps of Mr. Yo.
Yeah, I don't think Hart made any mistakes after like mid-feudal age. It was just the whole build up to that.
Yeah.
Like you saw what the skirmisher men-at-arm combination did. It bought him so much time to go Castle Age. And unfortunately, he was just so far behind by that point because of shooting the boar, because of being later, and then not being able to take water control with Dravidians against Aztecs. I mean, Yo had everything going in his favor, and it was almost such an easy game for him to play past that point, even with the aggression from Hart.
What do we think about Hart realizing, damn, early game is looking really rough. I need to take risks to stabilize in this game, and sending out a second villager to build a second dock further up north to have better shorefish, maybe add 2 more fishing ships, and therefore allowing himself to...
When is he doing
ahead.
that?
Risky timing.
Yeah.
I would say 8 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Basically archery range and then the dock.
Okay, so that's right around the time that Yo is coming forward to tower.
With the tower, yeah, but then if you have 2 skirms or 5 skirms, it's the same. I think mainly villagers dominate that fight. It is tricky. Like, don't get me wrong, you can die then and might lose your berries, but this one it felt... He just played the clean game afterwards. He played really well, but just on this level, losing 340 food makes it so tricky.
Yeah, and Hart's just taking a brief break. We're going to take a brief break before we go into game number 3. Thank you for tuning in. Yo versus Hart coming up next.
And now, a word from our partners. The rise of modern technology takes its toll on all of us. Hours and hours at your desk leads to stiff necks, aching shoulders, sore lower backs. But there is a solution. Back Force. The Back Force 1 Plus doesn't just stand like a rock on the digital battlefield, it transforms the way you sit. With Gamer Pulse LED lighting lasting up to 20 hours, this chair is more than just a seat. It's a throne. Personalize it with patches for your nickname, clan tag, or any custom text. Because your chair should be as unique as you are. Every Backforce chair comes in a wide variation in colours, including this noble white and gold or black and gold colourway, and the Gamerlegion Special Edition. Sit like a king with Backforce.
Welcome back here. A disappointing loss maybe from Hart there in game number 2. Yo is up 2-0, and he was the favorite coming in here. Hart needs to get something going. He did tell us today that he's a clutch player. He's surprised how often he clutches things out. This would be a really, really nice comeback for him. You said before that he should go to Arabia because it's a map that he knows. Do you still think he needs to go to Arabia, or does he go to one of Mr. Yo's home maps and then has Arabia coming home?
I think if you go to Mr. Yo's home map, the chance of running into 0-4 is too likely.
Yeah.
I think Hart needs a W right now.
Yep.
And the best chances are on Arabia, in my opinion. And just a very clean game. Hart, play your scouts into ranged units, force reactions from Mr. Yo, force all those walls, keep up the aggression, expand in Castle Age, and then you should have the advantage. And I think he can close out the game. Like, he's not playing poorly today, right?
Yeah.
The boar can happen. Played really solid after that. And also in game 1, he had the aggression in Feudal Age, right? I think if it's like full-up Feudal Age war, Hart should still have the advantage.
Here we go into game number 3 shortly. Hart looks kind of tired. Yo looks like it was just another Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yo's been here many, many times before. Hearts.
He's been playing offline tournaments for such a long time, right?
I know.
I think I've cast him 2013, Maldives.
I was joking around with someone else. I think it was Leary. He asked me if Yo has been involved in the game longer than Viper. And I said, probably not, because I remember how young he looked at the Maldives. Like, if you look at Yo from that Maldives tournament, and then you look at Yo now, it's like he's a completely different person, right? Obviously, it happens to us all. If you looked at me with hair, you wouldn't even recognize me. But, like, he was a young guy back then.
Yeah. Dogao back then as well.
Oh, Dogao back then, yeah. That was such a long... Even Viper, the babyface Viper.
Jordan completely different.
Hera wasn't even in preschool.
Not even. They probably like Leary, and maybe Leary started playing 2013, something like that.
2013.
2002. I think yeah. He played his first LAN when
11
he was 14.
years old. He was 11 years old.
Yeah. That's the game phase of Mr. Yo. Feels like they are in the game, and look at how much head and eye movement he has, right?
Well,
He's
that's
so actively moving.
I think there's been accusations from people before that, like, oh, he's got a second screen when they see him streaming at home, right? But that's just the way he looks, right? He's only got one screen here, and he's looking up at the resources. Then he looks all the way down at the bottom of the screen. He's got a lot of movement going on. Heart is purely focused in. And,
feels like someone that could benefit from moving the resources next to the
minimap. I knew
minimap.
you were going to say that. I absolutely knew you were going to say that.
Why are you...
It makes sense. It does make sense that the resource is at the bottom. I just don't like it. And I think Yo wouldn't like it either. Not everything has to be logical. Heart doesn't kill the board with the TC. We're on Arabia here. We've got Heart playing as Malians. We've got Yo playing as the Vietnamese.
Okay. So Vietnamese on Arabia. Kind of what we expected there, eliminating all the other civilizations. I like that Heart is going for Arabia here. Malians. Obviously, really nice early on. You get the extra gold. You save some wood on all those buildings. Feels like scout opening is really strong, followed up by crossbows. The thing is, though, early imp really struggle against CA.
Yep.
Because you don't have a good timing. Vietnamese, they can get Bracer. They can reach Imperial Age with like 30 CAs still left. And that's a crucial timing we have to think in this game.
Isn't that kind of a wild scouting with that one sheep there from Heart?
In the back? Oh, that one?
I'm like, what is he looking for over? He's gonna find 2 relics with it. So like, that's some serious late game scouting with that sheep. I don't think he realized he sent it out there.
Reporting back home.
He'll have a journey to tell, and it's so dumb too because he's not even making max efficiency out of it. Yeah, he's going along the same path. Okay. Now he realizes, he realizes maybe that's a sign of a little bit of nerves from Heart. That seems like something that you wouldn't normally encounter in an Arabia game for scouting.
Plays double lumber camp, something that got a bit out of fashion, I would say. People really go for one lumber camp most of the time.
Well, how much is a Malian lumber camp? It's 80 something?
85-ish.
Okay. So you're saving 30 wood by going for the 2, yeah.
And it will be more efficient in the long run. That's why we see 9 on wood compared to the 8 on wood you normally play. And will be better in the long run. But Mr. Yo, one lumber camp just feels really good. Look at how tight his map is. This is so easy to wall in a small way.
Yeah, and Yo already placing the house out there. Yeah, so he's already fully read the map, and he's realizing that he can wall in front kind of to the TC as well, all the way to the edge. There's the barracks in front of the gold, and critically, it's like 4 tiles in front of that gold. So even if Heart arrives with archers, he's not going to be able to range that other side. Also very wallable a little bit later on, and Yo has already scouted the other wood line. So Yo is making a plan for his base, as all the top players do. They read the map quite quickly within seconds of scouting it, and they know exactly what plan A is, if not always what plan B is, if their opponent comes forward with some pressure.
Yeah. For now, both players going for stable, though. And to me, it feels like that's where Heart should shine. But also, let's remember, game 1, we've seen both players go scouts. Big difference there. Yo went for like 6 spearmen, while Heart went for 3.
Yeah.
And that's why Yo could hold all the aggression. Let's see how many spearmen they're committing now.
Eco upgrades coming in for Yo really, really quickly here. He doesn't have to spend wood on them, which is a huge benefit and means that he can pull some extra villagers off the wood and have some extra wood for the farms that he's about to drop quite quickly, and Hart also going for early horse collar, and he's just going for the fast walls at the front.
Yo walling the top of his woodline as well. And yeah, this one feels like both are playing quite stable. The question is, are we committing into archers? And if so, how many are we trying to transition? Or is, obviously in Yo's dream scenario, he skips the archer phase, can directly go for CA, or even Retta.
Yeah, he's got a safe stone in the back. He's got a really safe stone. The way he's walling just screams the fact that he wants to go Rattan archers eventually. So it's like scouts into wall and adapt and maybe add a range at home. And then back into the Rattans in the Castle Age. Yo is a player that loves to wall and go unique unit. He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, absolutely loves it. Look at Mr. Yo's adjustment. No spearmen, small walls, scouts at home. Hart is more scared, builds 2 spearmen, has the slight scout advantage right now, but Mr. Yo will actually take the lead soon. Look at how passively Mr. Yo is playing.
Yep.
He wants to play the late game.
Yep. He's just thinking about the walls right now. He's thinking about the walls, and that should give Hart a little bit of information of what Yo wants to do. The fact he had all the scouts there and the fact he went back from that engagement towards the TC should tell him, hang on a second. He's trying to get some walls up. I'm going to try and get the walls up myself. We are going to have a more stalemated game here on Arabia as we will likely make our way to the Castle Age relatively soon. I'm not certain that there's anything you can do in Feudal to immediately break either one of these positions, aside from maybe a forward, which would just be way too risky.
4 on gold for Mr. Yo, while only having 9 on food. This will actually be an archer range in Feudal Age from him. He will actually build archers behind this. Just maybe also knowing, wow, you might go for some aggression, and it's way easier to defend if I already have some range units myself.
What are your thoughts on as Yo tries to find this villager? He's actually going to take a good engagement against the spearman early, but now the scouts are here, so he needs to retreat. What are your thoughts on, you know, Vietnamese wheelbarrow? Do you adjust your timings in Feudal Age to get it, or are you more of a still wait till Castle Age kind of guy?
I've only seen it too early once from TheViper in the Copenhagen game there. I think last upgrade before clicking up to Feudal Age feels very reasonable to me. Unless you want to play massive timing, then I like it early Castle Age.
Okay. So a couple of hits coming out from that spearman from Mr. Yo. Look at the movement from both of them. They're kind of dancing around the spearman. They're trying to cut off the angles of the opponent's scouts as they get their walls completed. And it is a range, like you said, from Mr. Yo. So he's going to start to mass up the archers. It's always nice to get to Castle Age, even if you're trying to go there fast. It's always nice to get there with, like, you know, 8 or 9 archers that you can upgrade and maybe have a little bit of force to keep yourself safe. Here comes the blacksmith now from Yo as well, as Hart spies that archer range. Not too worried about the immediate threat because he's fully walled, but he still, I think, goes for a range of his own at home.
Has 5 on gold, 15.
Maybe it's just a blacksmith.
4. I think Hart might just skip archers.
Yeah.
He sees how defensively Mr. Yo is playing. I think this could be like a 1 minute plus Castle Age advantage for Hart, although food still looks fine for Yo as well.
He's going for archers. He's adding in the archers now. We've got the blacksmith now coming up. I know it's a big investment, but a double wall early could save you a lot of pain later on those sides, or maybe just slowly start adding in the houses behind the palisades. Could be really, really strong because those palisades are going to be easy to break, especially when you're not 100% sure of what Mr. Yo wants to do. Hart also clicked that villager outside, checking for holes.
Yeah. Wants to make sure, right? He lost game 1, mainly due to being raidable at the side. So wants to make sure, okay, my aggression is solid. I just need to make sure that Yo can't make it crazy.
So if Yo is thinking along the same lines as you, we should see the wheelbarrow click come in probably behind the next couple of villagers and then up to the Castle Age.
Since he's the one going for the aggression, I wouldn't mind that, but I'm not sure if that's Yo's kind of thinking. And
there it is. There it is. And he's no longer producing archers. And if my suspicions are correct, once he has clicked up to Castle Age, he will shift some villagers over towards that stone.
No, even before that. Oh no, no more lava camp.
Calm down, Millie.
I thought those 5 that felt so natural.
He actually deleted, wow, he was only 2 tiles away, and he deleted that lumber camp for an additional one. So he wants to be as hyper efficient as he can be. That's really, really early.
Yeah, an indicator that he wants to play 1 TC. Quick wall. Gets one
Oh,
palisade.
that's so painful.
That's
Oh, that's really, really painful. Hart does lose a scout. How much HP is on those? Okay, not the biggest threat in the world.
Has to be Deadville though.
But that one's going to be a Deadville as Yo tries to save him and engage with the other villagers now. Hart does have a hill advantage there. He's going to try and take another villager. There's an archer working away. And Mr. Yo, not walling in front of the town center in that little gap, is going to lose 2 villagers as Hart dives in. Hart also faster to the castle age, and he gets some really good information on Mr. Yo's base. He sees the back stone, but he sees that Yo is not on that stone yet. And Yo won't go under that stone, even if he wants to, until the scout from Hart is dead.
Or he sends like 8 villagers, then moves them away to wood.
The mind games. The ultra mind games.
Uh-oh, that's a big find though. Hart could get some aggression. Early Castle Age, right? He's up to Castle Age earlier. Lots of palisade walls. Has 5 archers. Is continuing to produce.
Second rank.
And it will be the CA.
A CA from Mr. Yo. So 2 ranges here from him. Fletching already in. He's getting the armor as well. Castle Age will be in about 30 seconds faster from Hart. And Yo is trying to track this army coming across. He sees it.
He wants to engage. Just killing 2 archers could be an option.
Yeah, you just buy yourself a little bit of time, right? Push this army away until you have a few cav archers of your own. Crossbow and Bodkin is coming in. Yo loses those scouts. And Hart doesn't lose a single archer there unless Mr. Yo can snipe it, which he does. It's the most micro I've seen out of Yo in a while. For that last guy to just get the final kill there. Yo arriving in the Castle Age. Here come the cav archers.
Take some gold only. Can't do so much.
Yeah, okay, knight and 2 cav archers.
Now goes on 1 TC, could be another TC in the back. Is even going for the defensive siege workshop there. Just really scared of all the aggression.
Yeah, and those crossbows can range the gold. Although with the town center there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them. So Hart's got a pretty good setup. He's got the TC in the back. He's got the extra one over there on the side. And it's double range crossbows holding his opponent in. Market now going up for Mr. Yo as he reveals to Hart that the cav archers and the knights are there. And he's coming back across to find some damage. He knows he can't probably take a good engagement against that until he has a few more cav archers. So why not just go over to Hart's base and see if you can get inside?
Yeah, taking engagement, no chance really for him. No bloodlines, no second attack upgrade. Can't really take anything. He needs to try to cut off.
Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. Couldn't find any reinforcements to cut off. Crossbow still being extremely annoying. This is buying Hart all the time in the world. He needs to get those town centers up.
Trying to play some farms here is Mr. Yo. Lots of idle villagers. It's nice for Hart. Plays 3 TC.
What do Malians do once that big cav archer mass is in?
I think mass, Castle Age, Knights, Camels.
Okay.
I think that's the only way.
And then are you looking to be up significantly faster than the Vietnamese so that you can actually push with something? Or do you think you're going to be able to equal them out in Imperial Age with your tech tree?
I think it's like 120 villagers Castle Age play from Malians here, and then you try to get him instant Farumba, instant upgrades there for your stable and blacksmith, and that's kind of your timing. So I think early pushes will be tricky, because Vietnamese, it's so easy for them to just have some traps and camp with them.
Yeah. Well, we've seen what Yo can do. We saw it in the first game. Even when he was behind, he can come back quite nicely. I don't think he's that far behind right now. Vietnamese, he's had the wheelbarrow upgrade in for a while. 3rd TC is coming up. Obviously, the villager difference is in favor of Hart, but I think it's a slightly stronger unit comp here for Yo if he manages to get the numbers. But right now, the numerical advantage is in Hart's favor, and he's pulled all of this army from Mr. Yo to the side while he's attacking with multiple armies on the other side and manages to micro down the knight too. Excellent micro so far from Hart as he tries to break in through the palisade wall here into Mr. Yo's base. I believe there is a town center behind that, so he needs to be careful coming in. But still, he can idle some farms, maybe snipe a few villagers.
Will be another Scorpion soon. I don't think he can do too much. Maybe one villager gets there. I think we need to see tech switch from Hart. Doing
some
mass
cavalry?
crossbows?
Yep.
Can't be the option against Vietnamese that already has TC setup, has a defensive siege workshop, already is on CA. We need a switch into stables.
And he hasn't really killed many CA, so that mass just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's only at 9 now, but Hart has lost a few crossbows. I think he's just trying to get his food eco sorted so he can make a switch into cavalry comfortably. But if he waits too long, suddenly Yo is going to have the Cav Archers, the Scorpions, maybe even a forward siege workshop, which he loves to do with 3 TCs at home.
Yeah.
And he's going to be pushing the front side of Heart's base, so Heart will need something against that. Doesn't notice the crossbows coming across, but at the same time, Heart doesn't notice the Cav Archers coming from Mr. Yo, so completely oblivious to each other, and he'll just find them now. Those should be 3 dead crossbows.
Yeah, quite easy kill, but also for buying time. Hard is sending his crossbows back. Nice dodge.
Tries to dodge again, doesn't manage to do it. He dodges right there. The Cav Archer's pushing in towards the crossbows. Heart with some good micro here. He kills 2 Cav Archers from Mr. Yo. And Yo is back down to 9 Cav Archers as Elite Skirm is the tech from Heart.
Interesting how few CA we have produced so far. Felt like the archer ranges were idle for quite some time. Nice dive.
Beautiful dive again. There's another Scorpion behind. Last Scorpion, though. Mr. Yo does not have another one in production just yet. And Heart is splitting away from all those bolts. Beautiful job from Heart. He also has the second armor upgrade, which should make these crossbows a little bit better against the Cav Archers. Ballistics is on the way for Mr. Yo. That will benefit both the Scorpions and the Cav Archers. Make it much, much easier for him to clear up this stuff. But constantly, Heart has one army on one side, one army on the other side. Yo is just chasing all of the time. And meanwhile, behind this, the eco from Heart is scaling extremely well.
Yo, even deleting a house while being housed was pretty rough for him, but he's now trading off some units, makes it a bit easier. Left-hand side was clearing it up with the Scorpion as well. And this is the first time where Yo could maybe go for some aggression, but Skirm's already prepared for Heart at home.
Yeah, third range from Yo. He hasn't seen the skirmishers yet, so he doesn't know that Ballistics plus 2 armor and Elite Skirm is coming his way. Cav Archer's not really the best against that. Food eco for Heart, very, very good. 32 on food, now 34, 35 on food. He's adding those farms behind. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. Heart's got 81 villagers versus the 69 from Mr. Yo. And for the first time in a while, Heart is really holding the pressure here in this set up against Mr. Yo, and Mr. Yo is the one that's reacting to his every move.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we predicted. Yeah, really good. Dodges so many shots here.
Against
Look at that.
Ballistics.
Only lost one single crossbow so
Is he
far.
going to win this fight?
No way.
He can't. It
No
shouldn't
way.
be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed to win this fight. Look at how weak some of these Cav Archers are. He's sniping them down. There goes another one. Heart on something today as he snipes another Cav Archer. He makes his way to the hill. He's dodging Ballistics against high HP Vietnamese Cav Archers, and I think he wins it. I think it's really, really close. No, Mr. Yo gets the hill, and it's a 1 Cav Archer army remaining. That was astounding micro from Heart.
As I said, no way Heart is winning this fight.
I mean, true.
That was crazy. There was so much value. That should be illegal. It's like, Yo, just going back and having a Scorpion there to help him would have helped like so much. And yeah, more damage. Like, Heart is so active.
Look at the economy from him. He's about to click up. He's just missing the building, so he's off a little bit on the timing. He needs to get that building up. If he sits there with those resources in the bank for much longer, that's going to be a missed opportunity. He could have already been up to the Imperial Age. He's still not making it. He's still not making it here, Nilly. The second building, he's got a town center going up instead. Look at those resources just wasting away inside the bank here for Heart as he techs into the cavalry armor. He needs that second building.
Monastery. Show us next to the town center. How many buildings?
It's stables! No, go up!
That's the monastery. Now he has it. And he clicks up. Okay.
Okay.
Let's calm down.
All right.
Yo.
Now, he could have been up probably a minute faster, but still, he's up much faster than Yo as Yo pushes back.
Yo, now 500, like enough stone for the castle. Typically, Yo tries to build them forward. Does he have enough map control?
If he builds a forward castle, I think it's recognition from him that he's later to imp and he's trying to buy himself time. And he's sacrificing that castle. Because there's no other use for that. Remember, if he wants to get into Rathens, he's going to need castles to produce them. So you have to also think about that. That could give us a hint as to whether Yo is interested in making Rathens long term. 4th TC, the eco is so good for Heart. All the techs coming in now. Handcart on the way. Bloodlines on the way. He's making the cavalry switch. He still has the skirmishers behind. And Yo is sending the villagers forward. Vietnamese castles, not the best. They don't even get masonry. They don't get architecture. They only get hoardings. And
Bit of a mistiming though, right? Yeah, he had enough stone for like a solid minute now as well. Could have already started. Before the knight numbers are rising, and he's getting all the upgrades.
I mean, this is a tough army to send villagers forward until you have the knights to support, right? He gets a nice shot against those elite skirms. Wow, big shot uphill for Mr. Yo, and now he takes the hill. Still has the villagers just kind of waiting here. Has enough stone for that castle, and he's building it forward on the front side of Heart space, where Heart is mining stone.
Has the wood as well. Gold at the side. What a beautiful spot for Mr. Yo. On the hill as well. Heart still without a castle. Could be raided here. If
Heart doesn't have a castle, when he hits him, he can't make trebs right away, which means that Yo's timing is going to be somewhat good here because he's banking the resources to go up to Imperial Age. That is such a great position for the castle there from Mr. Yo. Heart a little bit late on his castle timing. He could go for chemistry potentially. He could bombard cannon that down, but still, Yo is going to keep that alive for quite a while longer as Heart gets to Imperial Age and just now starts building that castle.
Actual spot for Mr. Yo.
Is this a disaster, though? Is this a disaster, Nilly? Heart needed this castle forever ago, and now Yo is going for a castle at the bottom of the hill, as Heart will need to delete that one. Imperial Age on the way for Yo. This is turning around. This is turning around really quickly, and Heart can't push back that castle without siege, without bombards, without trebuchets.
And without Bracer, those skirms and crossbows, they're not really upgrading chemistry +1 attack, okay? But that's not enough, and that's why we said, Malians, they don't have a timing early in.
Heart is just struggling. He had such a great eco. He had such great fights. Amazing micro. But Yo has found the timing once again to delay his opponent. The siege is still not on the field. It's a double castle stack here for Yo. Cav Archers behind now getting the cavalry technologies here for his knights as Heart just adds more farms because he's been cut off from the ones at the front. He still doesn't have much stone to take. I think he's found himself an extra one somewhere, but that main one is completely cut off, and the Cav Archers are trying to work their way into his base. This is so tough for Heart.
Economy good enough for Mr. Yo to afford most of the upgrades. Obviously, heavy CA really costly, won't get to that. Raid at the left-hand side soon coming in with some knights, but Mr. Yo, good timing there with the Townsend and sees it instantly.
Yeah, great reaction times there from Yo. He's going to see that. Has a lot of text for the TC, so the Knights should go down quite quickly. He's got the villagers working away on the stable. Does he kill it before the Knight comes out? The answer is no. It doesn't matter, though, as Yo is just trying to, I think, to get to that stone so he can mine enough for another castle. And he sees that he doesn't have enough, so he can't place the castle there yet. What is Mr. Yo doing with those villagers forward?
Sure about that. Tries to wall in the
busy.
back first. Those villagers maybe just idle in the...
Waiting to repair.
Okay.
Waiting to repair the castle. Remember, he can't get masonry if he wants to engage in a treb war. Can get hoardings and gets conscription automatically, which is nice. Means you can go for the trebs right away, as Bracer and Chemistry are the instant techs for Mr. Yo. Cavalier raids have been distracting, forcing Yo to pull back his entire army to deal with that. So great job there from Heart as Heart attempts to stabilize. He's still got 49 on food. Really solid eco behind this for Heart.
So good for Malians that they have the extra gold. Otherwise, Heart might have even struggled so much more not having his third gold spot right now.
Look at that castle from Heart.
Nice
Yo is no longer...
extra gold? 2 extra golds there?
Yeah, Yo isn't out there. He has no reason to be out here other than the army forward from Heart, which is kind of threatening the stone. I would really like that castle if Heart can get it complete. I think there's a risk that he might be pushed back on this side and the Cav Archers could roll forward, but all of his army is over there supporting. So great job there from Heart. Yo goes for a forward siege workshop. He's going to attempt to hold that castle, get bombard cannons out first, and start attacking the trebs. Surprisingly, still no bombard cannons from Heart.
Yeah, I thought he would add those a bit earlier. Nice conversion there against the Cavalier. Yo gives that area up. Does not want to fight against the skirms, although they're lacking the last armor upgrade. So could maybe try to dwindle away a bit. Tries to save those vills.
I think there's an argument to be made that if you send your army forward as Yo, that army from Heart almost has to come back to help defend because he doesn't really have anything at home.
Yeah, true. Although he's producing out of 2 archer ranges some skirmishes.
Double castle stack is so nice to protect the trebs.
And the repairs coming in. Cavaliers just being sent in one by one makes it tricky. Bombard cannon production. Oh, first bombard cannon out soon. The traps. Getting the first castle though.
Yeah, Heart really running low on stone. Really running low on stone. We got 2 trebs attacking there and a bombard cannon from Mr. Yo. The skirms are coming in trying to snipe that. Cavalier as well, although they can't dive. They've lost so many Cavalier already. trying to kill the siege, and the castle from Hart, I believe, will go down as he's trying to repair that. The castle falls. Hart is at 170 population. Yo is housed at 150, but he's trying to expand as the army we were looking at before is now raiding in the base for Mr. Yo. But once those Cavalier are down, the Skirmisher's not too much of a threat.
But it's tough to kill those Cavaliers in the first place, right? CA only good in big numbers, and like 5 CA against 2 Cavaliers, a fight you can't really take if you're Yo.
Bombard Cannon does get a couple more shots off, but now goes down. Yo needs to retreat to the castle. Good pushback here from Hart. 130 villagers for him. 116 for Yo, as Thumbring is only now coming in. So he's been struggling with the upgrades a little bit. I mean, he hasn't had the resources. Look at his food eco. 9 on food after these raids.
Look at the eco.
Oh my
So
goodness.
many idols, 22 idols right now. Didn't really expand with any farms at the front. Traps even giving up this area, and Yo tries to stabilize the game. Just see how crazy this game has been. What do you think about an Elephant Edition eventually for Mr. Yo?
Eventually, yeah, but you got to get your food eco under control. If he had Heart's eco right now, I would say sure. But unfortunately, he's been kicked off the farms. He still doesn't even have handcart as Vietnamese, which is really, really rough. You would expect, you know, handcart, well, Exhibit A, or heavy plow to be in already. Maybe even the 3rd wood upgrade, which is really, really quick with Vietnamese. As Farimba now makes its way onto the field from Hart. So he will get the additional attack on the cavalry. More archer ranges coming in from Mr. Yo. He's interested in more cav archers. And he actually managed to get away with a few of those trebs in the bomber cannon. So good decision making from him. He cut his losses early, and he actually got the siege home.
Yeah. Makes it so much easier to defend against the incoming traps, but no defensive castles for Mr. Yo so far. So raids can be brutal. Farimba +5 attack, the damage there. With the Cavaliers, more light cav potentially coming as well. Those 2 extra spots at the right-hand side are just a blessing for Hart.
Ooh, Farimba Cav have found the trebs. They found the bombard cannon, which ran into the castle. Oh man, that's great snipes there for Hart. 1 treb down, 1 bomber cannon down from Mr. Yo. Hart is beginning to expand. Yo is just trying to stabilize. He's trying to get the gold on the outskirts. He's trying to get his farm eco sorted once more as he makes another switch into more stables behind this. The Cav Archer number is still incredibly low for this stage of the game.
Hart doing such a good job of constantly sniping CA, right? Every time we see some disengagements of Yo, 2-3 more CA are dying. Only 18 CA in a 43-minute game?
Yeah, it's not enough. It's
Heavy
definitely
CA
not enough. And heavy CA is being teched in here. We need more archer ranges from Yo. More production from Yo. I think he has 6, but it's really, really hard for him with the limited eco to be able to spam those as he sends in the Cavalier of his own, some light cav, and CA behind this. But Hart has done such a good job, as you mentioned, with these skirmishers. He snipes the monk. He's going to snipe CA. He's pushing him with the trebs. Hart can't afford to give up this momentum. He can't afford to let Yo back into the game just like he did in game number 1.
Arabia, the go-to standard map in Age of Empires. The first pick for Hart, showing how confident he is on this map, how confident he is in his micro, in his map control, in his macro against Mr. Yo, hoping to not face a wild game. And this was early walls from Mr. Yo, and we never had any wild raids. Hart could play the game. It was tricky early in, but from there on, Hart
Look at that wood
perfect when
eco.
it comes to decision making.
Look at the wood eco for Mr. Yo behind that. I mean, there's just nowhere for them to go. I think he doesn't have a secure wood line if we look at his base. Hart, yeah, Hart has just been raiding the entire time. He can't take that wood over there. He tried with a lumber camp. Now he's moving all the way over here to take this wood. This is desperation from Yo. He realizes it. Even Yo is going to tap out of this one. Great play from Hart.
Smoke break.
Yeah. Got a smoke for me? Got a cigarette for me?
Can you?
Is that a secret to winning?
Yeah.
I don't know what it will do to me during a game, so I'll hold off.
Oh, I mean, that's a good conversation. Smoke break? You going? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. It was agreed. Obviously, best of 7 can easily take 3, 4, maybe even a bit more hours. And therefore, agreed upon break after game 3 for Mr. Yo to calm down a bit. Good for him now. Really fortunate after this game. I think if we directly jumped into the next game here for Hart, could have been a nice momentum that he could have taken into game 4.
Yeah, and he's going to take a break, and we see Yo going outside now, so it's going to be a couple minutes. In this couple minutes, though, we can talk about a partner that has been really, really important to this whole event, someone who has supported us and someone whose product we believe in. Now, I know you've had problems with this in the past, Nilly, so I'm not going to let you say anything. I'm just going to point at you, and you're going to say the words, okay? Now, let's work through this.
Surfshark?
Okay, let's try that again, a little bit faster this time.
Surfshark.
Okay, everybody. Very important announcement. We have a special deal with one of our partner companies
Surfshark.
where they will give you 4 months free if you go for a 24-month plan of
Surfshark.
Surfshark is a I took your role.
Surfshark.
Is a great VPN. They have a lot of things going for them. They've got the ad blockers. They've got the 3,200 servers. They've got 100 different locations that you could take advantage of. And obviously with this deal, it's going to be really, really cheap compared to other VPNs out there. Now,
Surfshark.
also helps you when you're going to foreign countries. You can watch programs in your own language instead of watching them in German. And it's really nice that
Surfshark.
can save me from watching my favorite shows in a different language, be it German or whatever else. Even Ryan is excited for
Surfshark.
because it's such a great deal. Now, Surfshark also helps you protect your identity online, especially if you go for one of their more detailed subscriptions. We can see it right here. The whole household connected. How many devices can you have connected with
Surfshark.
unlimited devices? Unlimited devices connected. We also have... you're on the wrong page.
Which one is the right one? This must open. Why
You're on the...
What am I like? How?
Just take it away.
Should we go to link?
This is why you just need to say the words, dude.
But I was told.
This is why you just need to say the words. What's the best VPN out there?
Surfshark.
Thanks, Nilly. Anything else you want to...
What? Surfshark. What website should I have gone? Like the man in my ear said, like, open the website. And I went to surfshark.com.
If you were to theoretically get a VPN, which one would it be?
Surfshark.
If you were to say, you know, I want a VPN to help me promote my event, which one would it be?
Surfshark.
There you have it. And if NAC had a special deal with a VPN where you could get 24 months with 4 months extra tacked on, which VPN would it be?
Surfshark.
Thanks, Nilly. And thank you, everyone. And thank you, Surfshark, especially. Make sure you take advantage of it. The link is in the chat, and the special deal is there as well. It's a great offer. It's a great price, and
Surfshark.
it's great. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to get on now to the next stages of whatever we're doing.
This should have been bulletproof.
This should have been bulletproof.
You gave me so little to do.
No, dude.
Like, we had a 1 hour meeting yesterday.
1 hour? We talked about this for 10
my story,
seconds.
my story. Like, we tried to work through how I cannot fail. Surfshark. And
You pull up the content creator guide from...
surfshark.com.
Could have just pulled up the
Surfshark.
NAC promo.
So maybe I go into the chat. Surfshark. Oh, what's it? Where are you pointing? Maybe I can click the link. Oh, look at that. It is
www.surfshark.com.
Ooh.
/NAC.
Look
Yeah,
at
now
that
we have
beautiful
it.
thing.
Now we've got it. Look at this.
Ooh.
See the offer that we have? 4 months extra. 4 months extra with
Surfshark.
VPN. This is the special NAC offer. And you can secure your connection with...
Surfshark.
You can keep your personal data private with...
Surfshark.
You can protect your devices with...
Surfshark.
You can get data breach alerts with...
Surfshark.
You can get the NAC deal with...
Surfshark.
And there you have it. Extremely important partner for us here at this event. would hate to, jeopardize that relationship we have with any way. But yeah, get the NAC deal. It's a great price.
That's you.
So Yo's back in the room. Thank God. He's back.
Surfshark.
Anyway, we need a quick break. You need a quick break from that pain. And we'll be right back with you in a second. Welcome back, everyone. Hart manages to bring it a little bit more level here, winning the game on Arabia, where you said he should feel very comfortable. It looked like he did. That was the one game where he had an advantage from the beginning, and he never really gave it up.
Yeah. It felt like early in Imperiage, we got a bit scared, right? No real time.
That's just Yo being Yo, basically.
He made it ugly, right? Two castles in your face at a beautiful spot. Nice find by Mr. Yo there, blocking gold, stone, the wood line, got some raids in, but Malian economy was just too good. Hart was completely set up, and it just felt like this is his comfort zone. If this was pure Arabia, I would think Hart might have won the set 4-1. That would be my prediction.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for Yo, it's not pure Arabia, and Hart has already used 2 of his home maps, one of which he's lost on. So Yo has some home maps going forward. Obviously, he's going to have civs tailored towards those. We can get into the draft here so we can analyze this. I think we're going to go on to one of Yo's. I can't see him picking bypass right now. Maybe you go to something like Dry River?
I think, just try to make sure that you're walled. I don't think he goes for high tide. I think African reed beds with Mongols feels really good for Mr. Yo. I think that feels like a really safe choice. You're the one going for the aggression. You kind of know that you're playing against Malay, I would assume.
Malay? Yeah, but then, I guess, yeah, okay. Burmese for bypass for Hart. And then Malay for African reed bets. I guess that's really the only map left. So then we have something like
Dry Rivers Poles.
Dry Rivers Poles. Byzantines or high tides for
Byzantines high tides.
Yeah, and I think the next map is high tides. Incas can also be played on high tides. We've seen it.
True, but then we're not taking our first pick of the drafting phase as Byzantines, right? Malay Mongols were the first ones before, and so I think Incas might not be picked. Because if he wanted to play Meso, he would have prioritized them earlier.
Can you play Byzantines on African reed beds against Mongols?
I think you're giving up too much momentum.
Really? Okay.
Like Feudal Age.
If you wall early, though.
Yeah, but what are you doing? Like, you're getting to the other side with Camel Skirm at the 21-minute mark.
Yeah.
He's already 3TC, has CA. You're not breaking the walls easily.
Yeah.
You can't use your Fire Galley advantage. Feels like Byzantines should be high tides.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. I mean, Yo sometimes goes for some unorthodox Civ picks. And he also did pick Tatars ahead of Berbers on this.
Oh, really?
Or no. The way it works is Italians is the last Civ pick, right? Yeah, because
Oh.
it's mirrored on both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basically from center first row and then from center second row.
Yeah. Where does Berber slot in? Is that Dry River?
Yeah, it will be... Berbers should be fine against Poles, right?
Okay.
I think if we're thinking it's likely Poles, which might actually give us a reason to think he might go Incas. Are Incas better there? I think Poles could be really naked against Berbers.
I think we'll have a lot of questions answered by the next couple maps if we have Dry River coming home. Just because there's a few civs that can be slotted around here, especially for Hart. He's got some options. I think Burmese is basically a lock for bypass, but other than that, he could get creative. Mr. Yo, you'd think the Mongols are going to be played on African reed beds, so on high tides, it's Bengalis or Italians.
I see Bengalis.
Bengalis.
Bengalis against Byzantines on high tides is my prediction.
We should get into the game here shortly. No more speculation from us.
What are you playing on bypass? Bengalis is bypass.
That's the thing. Like, there's a couple questions here from Mr. Yo.
It's Italians. It's Italians against Byzantines, and Tatars not played.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
Yeah. That feels more likely.
Could you pick something else on high tides? Like Berbers?
Not giving you really an advantage on water. Not great early feudal age. Don't think
We'll see.
So. Ooh.
We shall see. And it's going to be Byzantines from Hart, and it's going to be Mongols from Mr. Yo. So that's the Civ matchup I asked about on African reed beds. We didn't really think about it here. That's a really, really quick start for Mr. Yo with the Mongols, and the Mongol line of sight with the scout is going to help. He's going to find the dock really quickly from Hart. He can't stop it, though. Great timing from the scout of Hart to come back and protect the villager on the dock. Yo, not even bothering with shooting the boar with the TC. Just going to do it with the villagers, and it's actually an elephant. It's not a boar, but still, you know what I mean.
It's 400 food versus 340.
Yep.
Quite a difference there.
Especially with Mongols.
Especially with Mongols. So wants to take that a bit faster. Scout doesn't really know what to do right now. Expected the dock more to the left-hand side. And, well, we have some deer that could be pushed here. Could be an option for him. Over here.
Yeah, and look at the resources collected. It's always just ahead a little bit for Mongols, especially once he drops off here.
Yeah.
It's really, really startling once we got the resources collected stat available on Capture Age, just how far in front Mongols were in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, like look at the jump now, but Hart didn't drop off his boar yet, right? We can compare basically the moment both are on the way to Feudal Age.
Mm-hmm. And Mongols generally going up to Feudal Age without Loom a lot of the time. Hart is actually clicking Loom now, so Yo's going to be a little bit faster. No Loom, however, so he needs to queue that up after. And the reason that they can go up that quickly, and a lot of times you don't get Loom, is they actually have the food available, where other civilizations need the timing of Loom to come in to gather that extra food where they're not producing a villager. Ooh, he's found the Vill, but Feudal Age is still a minute away. I don't know if Yo can take that.
Yeah, Hart feels okay. If it's 1v1, dog, my Fire Galleys will win. Just to be sure, send the villager home, and he will try to defend with some spearmen. I think this is actually the spot where Hart might go for some scouts, right? He's not on gold yet. See 3 on gold for Mr. Yo. Goes for the second dog. So the Mongol player committing to more water than the Byzantine
Did Hart
player.
spot that barracks timing? I think he did, or sorry, Yo. Yeah, Yo spotted the barracks with the extra line of sight. The Mongol scout, it's really, really nice. He just caught the edge of that. Now he's going to take a look and maybe even engage against that villager. I mean, Feudal Age is in 8 seconds, and Hart sensed it. He knew that Yo was up already. He walls in the villager. Really great play there. Yo can't delay as much, but he might be able to delay the second building. Might be able to delay the stable or the range if he's just hanging around in this area.
Mr. Yo has to be confused. Gold at the front, not taken. He knows that he will play against no dog, or like at least maximum of 1 fire galley.
Yep.
And scouts.
And he's coming back.
Yo has
see what it is.
Such a good intel.
It's a range.
actually spear skirm. Ooh.
He sees that, yeah, like you said, he sees that Heart's not on the gold. And if he keeps that scout in the general area, he can keep tracking that gold. But he actually comes back with the scout. He's going to try and take care of the scout from Heart back here and maybe even attempt to push in one of those extra zebra or ostrich eventually. As he leaves that scout to its own devices. Goes for 2 fires, even up against Byzantines with a 3rd one on the way. This is going to be perfectly fine and takes the time to push in that zebra. I would rather prefer that scout forward, camping the gold, just to make sure.
But you kind of know what's happening, right? You know, okay, you're going to win water. He's scouted the archer range, so he knows that spear skirm is coming. Now it's just important that Yo is constantly producing skirms. I think archers aren't really adding too much right now.
Okay, so skirmishers coming out from both. We got the second skirm on the way from Hart. The archer range is just now completing from Yo. And Yo will have the fishing chips uncontested. Hart only with 1 fire galley inside of that dock. It has a little bit of extra HP. As the Byzantines, it's going to take a while to come down. And Yo doesn't know how many ships are going to be inside there. And there goes the second fire galley. So Yo needs to keep investing on water. I think a couple more fire galleys would be smart. But then again, he's trying to invest on both land and water now. So it makes it tough.
You don't really want to overinvest, right? You don't want to get into the spot where you build 6 fire galleys and the opponent only build 1 single fire
But if you're going to add 2 more fish, I think you have to.
It's so tricky. Byzantine extra HP on the dock obviously also helps to keep the amount of fire galleys hidden for longer.
Okay, so Hart's going to have 2 in there. 3 versus 2, you can still win unless Hart gets a really, really nice stack. And Hart is just scouting around. He's trying to get as much information as possible. Sees the skirmishers coming out. It's just skirmishers for both. Yo's resources collected looking a lot better than Hart's right now. Combination of the fish and also the hunt for the Mongols. So he should be able to afford both the water and the skirmisher production as a demo is now coming out from Yo. Another fire is coming out from Yo. He senses that Hart is going to keep producing from that dock.
He sees so little aggression, right?
Yeah.
He knew if Hart was giving up water, he would need to do damage on land.
Yeah.
And since there's no aggression coming, he basically knows that Hart is also fighting for
Yeah, now Hart's out here with 3 Byzantine fire galleys. Really, really dangerous. You can't take this fight on equal footing.
Demo's
you have
out.
to get the demo involved. And is Hart paying attention to this? He's not. He tanks a big hit there on 2 of these fire galleys, and Yo can push this back. Another fire galley in the queue for both players as the skirmisher fight continues at the front. Spearman did go down from Mr. Yo. Scout is still at decent HP, and Hart has found himself a really nice area to stack as Yo is very busy at home paying attention to the land, so Hart's going to take out one of those fire galleys.
Oh, that was beautiful by Hart. Great spot. And fire galleys actually can't really shoot over that. Although they have range, they're attacking the dock there. Dock has 2100 HP, and that's why Hart took such a good engagement, but the numbers were better for Yo.
Yeah, numbers were better, but still he needs to retreat. Hart with 2 fire galleys. One of them's going to go down. We'll see if he produces another. He still has 9 skirmishers on the field. Byzantine skirmishers are cheaper, and Yo will need to maybe think about switching into a stable at this point.
Fletching might be a more important tech right now. Numbers are really low. If the numbers are super low, typically the stable is the better choice. If numbers are high, you want to get fletching first.
Yep.
We're kind of in between.
Yeah, kind of a gray area there. Also, a lot of resources in the bank for Yo. He goes for the farms now to expand his food eco. Farming also happening here from Hunt. There's a lot of hunt in the south that Yo can maybe stretch out and take, but I think Hart is going to be tracking that pretty soon if he senses that Yo wants to expand his economy a little bit. Yo still with 4 fishing ships. Hart hasn't been fishing this entire time, and the resources collected kind of reflects that. 800 ahead for Yo at this point.
Fletching for Yo.
Oh, you got to finish that dock, man. There's a villager there from Hart.
Oh, that's big. Keeps contesting. 2 docks against 1.
Yo trying to clear up the skirmishers. A lot of weak ones in there for him. Gets some good shots against Hart, but Hart is identifying the weak ones. He's going after them. Couple villagers now chasing from Mr. Yo as well. And not the greatest engagement at all from Mr. Yo. Good micro once again from Hart as he makes use of those skirmishers.
That was fletching versus no fletching. And Yo couldn't really profit from it. Now the repair there, beautiful move by Hart, macro on point. I think the Arabia win really gave him some confidence.
Yep, berries kind of contested. Mr. Yo needs those a little bit. He was floating food for a very long time. He's still at 300 right now, but he needs to get his food eco back up and rolling. He's got villagers on the berries. He's got just a couple farms. All the hunt is gone. Could be an option to loop around to the south and grab that hunt there, but also very, very risky.
I think it's crazy that Hart decided to play without fletching. He built like 20, 25 skirmishes.
His skirms are cheap, and he's saving resources. Almost 700 food, 370 gold. I mean, he's thinking about Castle Age. Oh, Yo already on the way up, though. I did not expect Yo to be first to the Castle Age.
As the stable could maybe build a scout there, although two spearmen are around. Now the repair here at this side. Hart is playing this one really nice. I think now up. I think next step is fletching and then probably double stable and it will be full camel. And then Yo has some decisions to make. How is he addressing the mass camel from Byzantines?
Yeah, it would feel really nice for Mr. Yo if he was walled, right? But obviously Hart is keeping it wide open with these skirmishers at the front. Really difficult prospect to wall that. Also, the step lancers for Mongols are going to lose a little bit of their punch because Hart is so close to the Castle Age. And like you said, he can just go into the camels. So if Yo wants to go for step lancers or night opening, it might be a little bit more difficult for him. He's going to have to really, really think about what his opening moves are going to be here. And now he's losing the water.
Obviously, water importance is now lower than before. Fish gets less efficient. Plus, you have way more villagers, so the relative amount of eco units isn't that important anymore. Yo gives it up. Now he's trying to push on land. Can he find the timing? He goes back. I think this is the spot where the Mongol players actually researching elite skirmishers against Byzantines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've got the army forward, right? You have to get value from them, and if they're just regular skirms, one knight can come along and kill everything. It's not even close. As the demo is here from Mr. Yo, that's a really, really good demo trade from him, but still, it's only 2 fire galleys. He comes in towards the gold. Castle Age is in. What are his next steps? Bodkin Arrow is on the way from Mr. Yo. He finds a good engagement against the skirmishers here, clears up the spearmen so the scout can work on those skirms. And Elite Skirm is not coming in yet. He doesn't need it if he's going to clear up the army. He doesn't need it. He can invest into something else.
And now he knows it's full camels.
Yes.
That's the confirmation.
Hart clearly didn't really try to save that army. He wanted to take a trade against Mr. Yo. And camels are coming out now. So Hart's still with decent resources. He did end up selling his stone, so he won't be able to add extra town centers right away. Yo also sold his stone, though, so it's going to be tough for him to expand his eco as well. And it's cav archers from Yo.
Yeah, feels like, okay,
They're
I
the
killed
skirms.
all the skirmishes, right? It will be camels. Camels, cheaper, but lacking bloodlines. So 20 less HP, relatively speaking. And therefore, the CA should get quite some kills, even against the big numbers. But Yo has to build up the numbers first,
They
right?
both
It will
buy
take some
stone.
time.
They both buy stone for extra TCs.
It's just open, right? It's still not fully walled. Hart barely has any walls. He needs those TCs, otherwise he could just die to some night raids.
Look at the army from Yo. 1 monk, 1 knight, 1 scout, 2 cav archers, 5 skirmishers, and 4 fire galleys. Like, he's clearly not sure, and that's just kind of a symptom of fighting against Byzantines. You don't really know where they're going to go and what counter unit they're going to make. Clearing the skirms was great.
Yeah.
That opens a whole window for cav archers, and it's going to take a long time for Hart to mass those up again. But at the same time, you know, you're investing a lot of your wood and your gold into the water. You want to expand your eco as well, so it's tough to get that mass rolling. He's only got 4.
It's underwhelming, right? 10 on gold. Ideally want to have higher numbers there. Economy not that crazy. Could find a villager kill here. That's a nice
raid from Hart. Really, really nice stuff from Hart. He's going to kill at least 1 villager. The monk might push the camels away, but he gets another one. He's going to get a 3rd, and he might even get a 4th here. No, he goes after the camel first. He's trying to cut this one off. Yo is actually healing his villagers as they retreat to the TC, but I think a 4 villager raid there from Hart as Yo manages to snipe 1. The camels chase him away, and he's finally sniping the fishing ships. Great tenacity from Hart on the water to keep that dock alive for as long as they did. I think he produced like 10, 12 ships out of that. And the fact that Yo had to invest so much into the water really, really hurt his transition in early Castle Age.
And how many trips he still got in with those two initial fishing ships, right? He kind of was surrounded with the dock at like minute 9 in the game.
Yep.
And he got like 15, 20 more trips in than most people would.
And now it's at the point where, like, do you even need to contest water up there anymore? The fish are so far away from the dock, it's not really adding a significant boost to your economy. So third town center now for both players. Same timing on the second and third TCs. They're reading the game perfectly. It's just who's going to make that one move or who's going to make that first mistake that opens the door for the other.
Right now, Scorpion, Camel defense, don't think Mr. Yo will find too much. I'm a bit surprised how many villagers Mr. Yo had on stone. He had 8 villagers on stone there. Doesn't really need a castle right now. And thinks better of it. Ooh, that could be a nice raid.
Gate destroyed. Gate destroyed. And the Cav Archers are in on the gold. That's a second villager sniped.
Camel's low.
By Yo. More camels going down. Very exposed on the gold here. Here come the camels from the other side. And Hart is trying to cut him off. Great movement there from Hart to just loop 2 camels one way, 2 camels the other way. And he gets some really good value in these fights.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Now conversion, sees it instantly. And that Monk might even die. Scorpion's doing the job. Nice defense by Hart.
Beautiful job. And he's going to convert the Knight too. Yo is forced to delete that one. So the Scorpion-Camel combination has been enough to keep the Cav Archers away. Eco KD is sitting at 5-4 in favor of Mr. Yo. I think 2 of those have been fishing ships. So he sniped 3 villagers from Hart. But once again, Hart there with the farming timing. He's trying to get those down. He's trying to get his food eco rolling. And Byzantines booming up on 3 town centers is generally something you want to avoid if you're their opponent. They just have so many options, and their Imperial Age comes in so quick.
Then Bracer skirms, just heavy camel can get in there. Yeah, it's a long upgrade, but typically they arrive with quite some heavy numbers, and then will get really tricky for you. Maybe Mr. Yo with 7 on stone will get a castle up in the center, and then it makes it a bit slower for the Byzantine player.
Yeah, I mean, if you start building up Magadai earlier in Castle Age, you could have quite a significant force when you finally hit Imp. And it's a tough unit to stop, even for the Byzantines, especially when you're not teched into Skirm already in the Castle Age. It's really, really difficult. Scorpions aren't going to cut it. Wow, he almost ran right into that. Good positioning from Hart. Wow, look at this. Look at this from Hart. The Camels being positioned in front of the Cav Archers, and even though he only killed 1, he got a lot of good hits.
Yeah, and Yo can't take this army out for raiding again, right? Scorpions can easily kill all
Has
those.
to heal it up.
Yeah, has to go back.
Loses another one. He's probably going to lose a third before he gets home. Although there is a monk here randomly. And that monk will get a conversion, although he will die anyway. As Yo manages to save some of his Cav Archers. Did lose another one before he got home. Villager count, 64 for Hart. 69 for Mr. Yo. Wheelbarrow is in, plus the 6 fishing ships that he's had for a very long time, which is why he's 3,000 resources collected ahead. I did not expect it to be that large.
Yeah, it is massive. Also, eco upgrades are helping with that, right? 4 eco upgrades against only 2 right now. So numbers really in favor for Mr. Yo. Now tries to take the engagement. Should easily get the Scorpion at the left-hand side. But I think a good clear up against the main army won't be cost efficient.
I love watching the way that Hart positions units, especially when he has like 3 different types of units in an army.
Oh, yeah.
The way it's very Hera-esque, the way that he's rotating his camels around to cut off big groups of range units, and he's also trying to save some weak ones, but at this point, there's too many Cav Archers there. Ballistics is in for Mr. Yo, so he's going to shoot them as they retreat, but still, Hart trying to get as much value as possible. The Scorpions are on the other side of the wood line. The camels are working away on the Cav Archers. Yo buying himself enough time to get that castle, and now the siege push from Hart is going to be countered somewhat if Yo can get a few Magadai onto the field.
4 in the queue already, and I don't think Hart knows that that's happening. This will be the perfect answer for Mr.
They're stacked
Yo.
up for the Scorpions. They're all stacked up for the Scorpions. Cav Archers obviously, you know, not going to be of much use once the Magadai are on the field, but Magadai take a long time to produce. Look at that bar. They take a very, very long time to produce.
But he doesn't have any threat in his face right now, right? Ram only now started, can easily lose the barrack and some houses at the front. Archer range not really needed anymore. Like, there's nothing of high value.
Could
right
be
now.
double Castle Age Magadai production.
Oh, sick. Yeah, just behind the monastery here.
And then
Checking
Hart
that
can't
one.
push you in Castle
That's
Age.
the perfect
He
zone.
has to go up to Imp to
Yeah.
push double castle defense.
But there's a good castle spot there. Potentially Hart has the map control. Perfect castle there. And I think Yo should not invest into too much more army. This is the spot where
Just Mangadai.
Yeah, but also I don't think you should queue up more than those 5 Mangodai. Because there's nothing really happening right now. Like, yeah, there's some army knocking at your door, but imp timing will be crucial.
I think there's an argument to keep queuing Mangadai just because they take so long to produce. But maybe with these resources, you just go up to imp and then you
continue.
Queue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
and by the time you get to imp, you're going to have, what, like 12 or 15?
Even more. Imp
something like that with double castle production. You can see now Heart running into the Mangadai, and the Mangadai are just going to clear the Scorpions if Yo has good micro, which he does. He's going to take out one of them. Good monk micro there from Heart, pushing the Mangadai away, but Imperial Age is on the way, and the second castle is up, and the Mangadai are coming out, and Yo almost has enough castle or enough stone to think about a third castle before he gets to imp as well.
I'd run out of stone, though. I'm not really sure how much stone we have in our starting base there.
There's one at the front there.
Deletes the walls, tries to get home. Another relic. Yo tries to get onto 4. Gets another conversion. Nice.
He might not have another stone inside. You might make a good point there. Yeah, he's already mined that out, so there's a secondary one there. There's obviously a lot to the bottom. And I was wondering if that was a hole the whole time. I was looking at the minimap, wondering if that was a hole in the wall. Never got punished for that.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's a nice little pathway that you can sneak out through.
Doesn't have to delete the house. And that's the good castle that we want to see for Heart. But I think it will just get trapped down. Imp timing is a solid 1.5 minutes behind at least.
Yeah,
More
Heart
goes for skirms now.
Hasn't really been able to take many engagements. Imagine how different this game might have been if he had kept that skirmisher army alive.
Yeah. Didn't need to go for the Scorpions then, right? Just some more elite skirms can run around and has a really good unit when he arrives in.
Okay, so Yo is going to see that castle. He's going to try and take fights here against the Scorpions. Only 4 Mangadai, though.
Heart actually traded off resources to click up with normal imp resources. Didn't go for Byzantine, but then queued up some units, so it's all good again.
Hey, forgot about the discount, maybe. Sometimes it's hard. Pay attention to that, especially with civs like Byzantines or Italians, where you're waiting for the 1,000 food, 800 gold as the Mangadai now make their way in. Yo could dive under that TC. He's just going to go through the house, probably a little bit smarter. And this will be a really, really frustrating raid for Heart to deal with when he wants all of that pressure and all of Yo's focus forward.
Interesting decision here by Yo to go raid with the Mangodais, because you feel if he gets to 40 Mangodais, it's impossible to lose the game.
He's still got double castle production behind. Like, double castle production, even with such a slow unit,
he can click elite Mangodai.
He can go elite Mangadai right now. Oh my god.
The resources goes for 3 other
Insane.
upgrades first, but then can research elite Mangodai even faster.
Look at how far
40 on
ahead he
food.
is on res collected.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It shouldn't be that high. It really shouldn't be that high, but once again,
the power of
eco
upgrades.
upgrades.
Yeah.
The fish as well. Adding into that, the 4th town center, 120 villagers versus 93, and all of those resources, you can see them being funneled into the technologies. I think it's Elite Mangadai next. I think he sees it. Elite Mangadai is about to come in here for Mr. Yo. He's already got 18 on the field, and Heart's not even in Imperial Age.
Look at
it's Hussar.
Work efficiency right now. Then the last minute, Yo got 60% more resources than Heart.
84% at this stage of the game
Brutal.
is crazy. That's really, really solid from Yo. Good macro behind. I'm waiting for Elite Mangadai. Stop just teasing us. Stop teasing us. You keep getting up to the resources and then you're not clicking it. He went for Hussar instead. There's the Elite Mangadai. He will have Trebs working away on the castle. He's going to have Elite Mangadai, a force in the back raiding, another one trying to cut off reinforcements, more Mangadai being produced at home once the technology comes in, and then Hussar coming forward. So much gold in the bank from Mr. Yo, and also thinking about an additional castle with the stone he's mining in the south.
Castle at the south, though, or in the base? It feels like at the south
I
could
think
make a lot of
south
sense.
makes sense. Yeah, you want to secure that long term, and obviously Heart doesn't have his attention over there yet. He doesn't have anything to send over there yet. But just in case, as I think Heart has called the GG here, Yo is going to go up 3-1, and that's a really impressive performance from Yo.
Mongols are rough. That's why the first pick.
I love Yo.
It was
No response to that. That's why they're first picked. He's the best. And he's always been like that.
Yeah.
He's always been like that.
And remember, he picked Mongols before knowing the maps.
That's why they're first pick.
And full serious mode again.
Yeah, and we're going to get into game number 5 pretty soon. But before that, we have a short break. We'll be back with you soon.
And now, a word from our partners. Tired of interruptions ruining your moment of peace? Discover true tranquility with the Hammer Bluetooth headphone Passion Voyage. With cutting-edge noise cancellation, immersive sound, and unmatched comfort in every note. Sounds like more Hammer.
Well, Heart's up against it now. You heard Mr. Yo. That's why they're first pick, because they're a really good Civ. And Heart really, really struggled there, even with the Byzantines, which have potential against the Mongols. Even with that good pressure he kept forward, I think just losing the skirms early kind of changed the complexion. It opened the game wide open for Mr. Yo.
Mm-hmm. And we still have to say, like, Hart still has his first pick. He still has Malay. He has potentially Poles for Dry River, which could be a crazy strategy. And he has bypass his home map. So this is, like, not impossible that he can make a comeback happen. Maybe we'll take another look at the draft. The next map is going to be Dry River. And we kind of changed our perspective on Dry River, right? There's Shorefish in the center. We felt like this is going to be one of the most aggressive maps that we have. But, oh boy, we've been proven wrong.
Well, I think you can chalk that up to Dogao for the games that he's played there. Because when I came into that practice room at the beginning of the week, I was talking to some other players saying, like, I've never seen a Dry River game go to Imp. And Hart agreed, a lot of the other players agreed, and Dogao was like, what? No, it's 1 hour plus every game on that map. And then you see the way he plays, and it makes sense why it's an hour plus, because he ignores the middle. He just walls himself up on the little plateau, ignores that middle area completely, and it completely changes the complexion of the civs that you can actually select on that map if you're not looking to just go for the shorefish and do the early pressure.
Yeah, and then, like, fully walled, this map kind of feels a bit like Golden Lakes, or maybe a bit like a Golden Pit. Like, you have your small wood lines, you have enough farming space, resources are okay, you can expand a bit, and then Poles could have crazy timings. I would really love to see the approach of Hart here. And still, like, you have to go for some feudal army, though, because if your opponent is getting, like, 8 to 12 villagers on Shorefish and you're not punishing him, that will be tricky. So this could be a combination of, like, some towers and then full walls behind it.
Yeah, and if you're in Yo's position, you really got to start thinking, if you're going to play that Wally game, does my Civ match up good in Imperial Age, late Imperial Age? What's my ultimate comp versus his ultimate comp? While the Poles can have a strong eco, their ultimate composition is not overly strong, right? They don't have any super powerful units. They've just got a lot of them. And here it is. It's not the Poles. It's the Incas instead for Hart. It's the Berbers for Mr. Yo. And as I said, Hart was one of those players that thought this map should end early all the time.
Well, he's the one that can put up quite some aggression. And Incas, they will make it a bit more aggressive than Mr. Yo probably would like to, right? Because Berbers, they don't really have any advantages till we get to Castle Age with the cheaper, stable units.
I think we might see just retreat from the middle early from Yo, a full wall into either Knights, like you said, if he has the eco set up to it, or maybe even could go Camel Archers in this situation.
It is relatively open, though, in
It's
front
very
of the
open.
GCs.
It's very, very open. There's no wood lines that Yo can really wall to. Let's zoom out on his base and on the base of Hart. Like, that's a lot of work to do.
Gold is nice.
The stones are so far forward.
This feels like he goes for a lot of knights before he can go for Camel Archers.
Yes, exactly. Just because of the position of those stones.
better base here for Hart, but I don't think we will see Kamayuks too much. Is that an option? Eagle Kamayuks?
I don't think it's one
sexy.
you it does actually, but I don't think it's something that you think of. I think it's something you come to after a while when you notice that the stone is so safe.
Maybe.
Like Kamayuks are a really solid unit, but not one that we see often in Castle Age.
And stand ground stacking.
Yes.
Let's open that discussion.
Well, that unit has one range. I have no problem with that.
Okay. It is pop 20 for Mr. Yo, and Hart is playing pop 18. Spear Skirm feels very likely, and Yo, stable?
Has to be, right? Not on stone yet. You probably don't want to go
Walls.
Spear Skirm here against Incas, because they can just do it cheaper than you.
So it's Scout Skirm. Only 2 villagers on Shorefish. Food income won't be crazy.
Yeah, but you can see the intention already from Yo. He's going for the big walls. He's walling to the stone, so he's not securing that long term. And it's only 2 villagers forward, getting the fish while he can. It gives him a mill position. Those villagers will likely come back as soon as he sees the first army here from Hart. And the villagers are a little bit speedier with the Berbers, so they should be able to get back in time.
But is that great for him? I'm curious how Mr. Yo will play this out. Stable indeed, villagers are running back, as you mentioned, faster, so should be safe. But now he has to go for heavy farming. This might be horse color timing with like 25-minute difference.
Yep. And, I mean, Hart should just feel free to, you know, make a few spearmen for every single group of villagers he has, but, like, take the fish. It's out there. Take the fish.
Absolutely.
Just because Yo plays like this, just because a lot of people play like this, where they wall up and go farms and whatnot, doesn't mean that the fish is bad. The fish is not bad at all. They're just not comfortable being out there and having to play that crazy game, as we see another mill here from Hart. And Hart should be pretty thoroughly ahead in the resources collected for the next 10-20 minutes.
Yeah, I think till like late Castle Age. Skirmisher, nice kill there. Ideally wanted to have the Spearman there instead of the Eagle. I understand that we went for the Eagle. Hart now out of gold, so won't be fletching. Yo, fully walled at home.
And look at how much investment he had to put into those walls.
Yeah.
Those are big walls there. And Hart's even walling at the moment at home. So
I like that, yeah.
Hart's doing the same thing, although he's kind of walling off his stone.
I think you have to take this fight. Why are we moving
side
back? Even
of
Vodka's
base.
confused. Spearman now coming in.
Yeah, he's waiting for the spear.
away.
He's waiting for the spear. So, army forward from Hart. Not really that threatening of an army. That's a concerning tree over on that side, but I'm sure Yo will deal with that. Let's look at the walls from Hart at home. So, big walls on that side. On the other side, he's walling off the stone because he doesn't realize the wood lines are there.
Do you think Yo is doing an homage to his opponent with how he walled his base? In the shape of a heart?
He is kind of making it in the shape of a heart. Or it's a blue koala looking up.
I see it. I see the eyes. How did you get to that one? How?
I've got a knack for this sort of thing.
He's looking up too hard. That's so sick. Oh, Dave, I love you so much.
All right, so the scouts are doing nothing as we knew they would, and it's just skirmishers to keep himself safe. He actually sends more villagers out to the fish now. Is this for like a tower?
Yeah, feels like it, right?
So he's going to go skirm, scout, tower forward, and Hart's not expecting the investment, and there's a villager dead.
Scout dead as well, though. I don't think he can build.
No, it's just villagers for the fish.
3 villagers feels so weird. Either you think it's safe, then you send 8. Right, he has so many villagers and stragglers there as well. We'll have a fletching timing. Hart will be so much faster when it comes to Castle Age. And Yo, behind this, because he had to invest so much into walls, what a single eco upgrade.
I think that game against Tato might have given Yo the confidence to just do whatever. And then eventually, if he walls himself up here, he's going to be able to survive and get to late game. Or he's just trying something out here, too. I mean, he's up 3-1. You can afford to drop a game. Maybe you didn't feel like it's the greatest of matchup in the world. You're not super confident on this map. You just want to play your comfort game.
This feels similar to a player shooting his boar, how Yo is playing it, right? Fully walling, doesn't really have the presence, has to go for so many walls. It's quite impressive how close he is when it comes to rest of resources collected.
Okay, so the market comes up from Hart. Also, Hart like might not expect this investment. Like he has to run away if he can.
Is he running away,
That man is a little confused, a little stuck, as Hart is forced back to his base, and Hart will no longer be able to take advantage of that fish. How many farms does he have at home? Not too many, and doesn't really have that much food under the TC either. So I don't know if he's actually going to be up to Castle Age at that reasonable time, and if he wants to be, he's going to have to sell his stone to do it.
How is he not sending the army back?
I don't know. He's confused. He thought Yo was just going to wall here, low army investment, and he could just take the fish for free. So maybe this is part of the plan for Mr. Yo, or maybe this is just a happy consequence of making the investment into Bracer. Tons of farms here for Yo with the Berbers.
But that is the Yo special,
And
right?
no double
Fully
bit
walled.
axe, no horse collar.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, that's a Yo special. Fully walled, and then actually still adding some feudal army.
Mm-hmm.
So Hart could have known. Maybe some outpost would have been an option. Now he uses the
He
market.
sold the stone. He did end up selling the stone.
Fletching versus no fletching.
And he still doesn't have enough res to go up.
9 on food.
Comes the gate from Mr. Yo. Really need to snipe the spears so the scouts can engage. There's still an eagle in there too. And then the skirmishers here from Hart, and it's enough to hold the army forward. He had to sell a lot to get that up click. We did not expect that. Hart is still ahead on total res collected, but Yo is catching up quick. Yo is now ahead on total res collected now that he's taken the fish and he's farming there. Resources for him looking pretty decent. Hart still can't go out to that middle area. I mean, it's just an unexpected investment into feudal army from Yo. Hart read this, that Yo was just going to go walls. Yo was going to go Castle Age. And Yo kind of deviated from the plan a little bit.
Fletching maybe could have been spotted. Maybe seen the scout numbers. Hart. It is tricky, right? Mr. Yo being fully walled, you don't really know what's coming your way. Yo tries to lure the army away from those villagers now.
Trying to snipe those spearmen. Now he snipes the skirms. Great use in the army from both. I think it's a little bit easier for Yo to take these fights just because of the mobility. But Hart has done a good enough job now, and he's going to be able to snipe the skirmishers, which means the spearmen can just chase the scouts away, and the villagers can come back out for those fish. Still, he was idled off the fish for 5 minutes in game time.
Axsmith a bit late for Hart. Still no armor. I think he only now finished it. Is that going to be a forward? Is that what is he doing with this?
I don't know.
A forward TC maybe?
Maybe he doesn't have the stone. He needs to buy the stone for a TC. The armor is going to benefit his villagers as well, so it'll be tough for Yo to snipe those.
This is a Monk Rush, I believe.
Is it?
I think it is. Monk Siege from the left-hand side.
I wouldn't
Against
mind
someone
it.
that is
I
on
wouldn't
stone.
mind it.
Oh, I think that's horrible. Oh, that's open. Yo doesn't know.
Yo does not know that. Neither does Hart, though. Yo thinks it's fully walled, therefore Hart will think it's fully walled.
What
And
does
he
Hart?
won't go in.
What's the...
Siege Workshop here. Yo did manage to go out to that stone, like you said, so he's got 470. He can stop a Siege Monk push if he keeps this wall alive with a single castle. And now Hart is going to go for a lumber camp. He doesn't realize he can just move around inside of that base. As soon as the first monk comes out, he'll realize he should be able to know with that line of sight.
Pike upgrade. And I think Yo can just easily build a castle behind this, no? Goes for some palisades. The castle over there.
Oh boy.
Deletes the yurt!
Deletes the yurt. He doesn't trust it. He's seen in previous sets
Monk,
how brutal
Monk,
that yurt can
worst
be, and the
timing.
monk comes out, and the scouts are right there. Beautiful
God.
timing there from Mr. Yo. Very fortunate that Hart ejected the monk in that direction as the Mangonel comes out now. Castle Age is coming in. It's going to be an all-in investment on that defensive castle from Yo. He's got to build it quick. He's got to build it quick, and he's already building. I don't think Hart's going to be in here in time, and Mr. Yo will have the potential of making camel archers. However, husbandry won't come in.
40% here won't be enough. Builds another town center there at the right-hand side, and that will be brutal for Hart. He's kind of playing the 1 TC all in here.
Is this going to be
He will
double castle camel archers if he gets the TC set up on the stone?
Why not?
It could be sick.
Yeah.
It could be really, really sick against Incas.
They are really struggling. They could go skirms. We had the pikeman upgrade though, right? Really not helping.
Yeah, and the ram comes out too. Killing the market could be nice. I mean, Yo's eco isn't super balanced. As Yo now comes out with those scouts, which have gotten so much value, it feels like this game. Sniping the monk and forcing all of the villagers off of the fish earlier. The push from Hart is kind of awkward because of that castle from Mr. Yo. You can't push on that direction. You have to now come from this direction. But you look at the way his production buildings are set up, he's going to have to string units all the way across the front of Yo's base. Camel Archers can just snipe them as they're heading to the front line.
Over and over again.
Yep.
And the most vulnerable spot was the right-hand side TC for Mr. Yo. That's why he built the Siege Workshop there and should be able to defend this area. This will come down a lot to Mangonel Micro, and it's so much easier to defend than to attack there.
Way easier, especially when you have a castle. You just sit near your castle, sit near your TC. Scout does go down. Hart spotted the Camel Archers, no surprise there, and the Camel Archers are looping around. So they're going to try and either kill Vils or cut off reinforcements. I think that's a great play from Yo, because what are you really doing with them here? Pushing in from the TC, you're not really doing anything. You're running into Mangonel shots.
Typically, you can maybe dwindle some HP away from the pikemen, but Monks are already there. Against 3 Mangonels, you can't really micro. Cutting off reinforcements.
For the Monks, maybe. He's looking for the Monks. He's looking for the Monks, and he's going to let Hart know he's back there. And now life gets very difficult for Hart as the Mangonel comes forward from Mr. Yo. The Mangonel comes forward. There's a second one as well. He's looking for a big shot. He's going to take one. Saves the Mangonel, and the TC is killing the pikemen as the Camel Archers are also behind. Hart was so distracted by those 3 Camel Archers behind, and Yo goes in for another shot. Hart notices this time. Let's see if Yo could get any value. He takes another one. He takes another one. This could be the end of this push
Conversions
for
on the
Hart.
left side though. They're still locked in. Gets one. Gets away there. And those Mangonels were just so well played by Mr. Yo. And he's ahead by 4 villagers now. And he gets to the army composition that he was hoping for. Another conversion on the Camel Archer though.
Yeah, he does clear up the Monk, but he loops around with another group of Camel Archers. Like I said at the beginning of the set, like, Yo always knows where his opponent is paying attention. He comes in with the Camel Archers, knows he's trying to convert them, then he comes in with the Mangonels at the same time. And he gets the first one, forces Hart back, almost gets that villager. Camel Archer's now looping around towards Hart's eco. Hart has added a second town center behind. Villager count is still close. Mr. Yo may be thinking about a second castle, but the eco is not balanced for him. The eco is struggling. He needs to clear this up. This is still a pain for him.
Siege Workshop might go down.
And there's no villagers in the middle, just one.
So not really using the advantage. Both players on 2 town centers.
Well, I don't think you can justify sending Vils out without a TC now. Your Hart, like, that's just asking for them to die. Yo got another Mangonel. He's going back for seconds.
Hart getting redemption.
He's still hungry.
Crazy good for him. Eagle chasing this one down. Mangonel survives. Gets another shot off.
One more shot. And he gets
Good
it.
enough. Now, kill a Monk. All you could ask for.
Really, really solid. That Ram is super weak. It can be taken out by the Camel Archers. The Ram surviving, and now it goes down, and now it's just one Mangonel, some Monks, a few non-elite skirmishers, and some pikemen here. Still a concern for Mr. Yo if he lets this push build, but behind the scenes, 10 Camel Archers, 400 stones, so the possibility of a second castle is there, and if he gets a second castle over near those stones, I think there's no opportunity for Hart to push in Castle Age.
Yeah. Then we have to think about Imperial Age Eagles. Camels, even with the hill advantage, should be an easy snag.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those Monks are looking awfully alone here. There's only 2 of them. There's only 2 of them. They've only got pikemen. They've got 1 Mangonel, 3 skirmishers, and a couple, Eagle Scouts to help them out. It's not the greatest setup for those Monks. Hart is still holding on somehow. He's trying to add economy behind. 54 villagers against 56. Still no first wood upgrade for Mr. Yo. The eco upgrades are not there. It's so tough in such a messy game to make sure those things come in. As he splits around the first Mangonel shot. Does get converted though.
Okay.
And loses another Camel Archer.
Good for Hart. Good for Hart. Elite Skirm. Now the tech. Has 3 Camel Archers himself. Archer range dies at the front, so no thumping if we ever thought about that. Skirm's dying now. Before Elite Skirm. Oh, that's costly.
Yeah, no fletching even for Hart. So it's just lack of upgrades on those units and lack of numbers as well. And Yo is just going to try and back away from this army, hit and run. He's going to kill another Mangonel here with the Camel Archers, but a good final shot from Hart and another good shot from Hart. The attack rounds have been on point for him. Yo is trying to micro down that Mangonel. The Camel Archers are very weak. He added in a monastery of his own. He could potentially heal up the Camel Archers, but that's going to take a lot of time. Still doesn't have the wood upgrade, still lacking resources. He goes for another TC now on the fish over to the side. He knows Hart's probably not going to investigate that area for a very long time. Desperation, last minute split there from Mr. Yo.
That was close. He got quite some damage there. Pikeman trying to move in. Oh, this could be a lot of dead Pikeman. I don't think he will find the kill.
And you could see it in his face.
Oh!
You could see it in his face. So I was wondering why he sighed like that. I think it was when the Mangonel went down. Hart just rolled his eyes. He's not happy with himself. He knows he needs to keep pressure here. If he doesn't have pressure here, these Camel Archers are going to be knocking at the door to his own economy.
Absolute perfect play here by Mr. Yo. And we said it. He is such a beast with the unique unit.
Yeah.
We've seen it in every single game, basically.
Yeah, and he just, you know, he does it unexpectedly, too. It's not like just wall up into unique unit. He went wall into feudal age pressure a little bit late. Hart was caught off guard. Had to pull away, didn't have the economy maybe for the forward that he wanted. And then, of course, he had the castle in time to counter this, but a misclick against the outpost means he loses another Camel Archer, and here come the Elite Skirms. Even after that clear up, Hart is still forcing the army at home from Mr. Yo. So he's doing the right things. It's just a very difficult position. Incas against Camel Archers. Great attack round again. Attack rounds have been on point here for Hart.
Still gets a lot of kills. And those skirms, there should be the counter, but you need more upgrades than this.
I mean, Yo needs double bit X. I mean, it's just...
I think it could have been worth it by now.
I think it could have been worth it by now. Yeah, he's barely ahead in res collected. He should probably be further ahead. It would have been worth it by now. 31 minutes into the game. Mangonel dodges that attack round. And he's going to go for Hart's Mangonel. No, he actually goes after the Skirmishers, loses his own, but where are the Camel Archers? The Camel Archers are in the middle, and the Skirmisher reinforcements are no longer coming. The numbers are looking good for Yo. He's got the Knights being added in. He's got potential of another castle of his own to place. 721 stone. Where should that castle go?
Now gets ballistics as well. I think he is happy with the stabilized game,
Forward
right?
from those vills?
Or maybe just in between those two. Oh.
I know Mr. Yo, dude. I know him. I know him. I can sense him. He's inevitable.
Good, though? Is this good? Aren't we winning late game?
Yes, because the Hart's going to tap out when that castle goes up. But actually, no, he can go for a counter castle. Ooh.
I don't like this castle.
I like it.
It might be good, but I think there are better castles.
I like the energy. I think he needs this energy. This is 4-1 energy.
Okay.
And Hart's going to know this is coming from a mile away. He can see those villagers advancing. He doesn't really have any army to stop it. He could go for a counter castle. He still can't push in this way, and the Knights are coming in from Mr. Yo. There's the counter castle right there from Hart. It probably should have been a little bit further back, considering the Camel Archers are right there. The Knights come in at the same time. Like I said, Yo knows exactly where Hart's paying attention. It's at his own base. He comes in with the Knights. He snipes the Mangonels. It's a messy situation here for Hart. He's trying to build with the villagers, trying not to block with the skirmishers. Yo is trying to get this castle up in time with less villagers than Hart. The armor on those villagers is actually helping out a little bit against the Camel Archers, and I think both castles will complete. I want to see the percentage on the castle from Mr. Yo.
I think we need to see
It's up.
workshop there for basically both players, but for sure for Hart. And yeah, there it is.
We've, I mean, now all of the forward pressure
It's a weird
is
spot,
gone.
though. Siege workshop might go down.
It actually might.
Is he? No, it's shooting castle.
He's attacking the castle. Okay, he's attacking the villagers. All right. I mean, it'll
no.
never go up though, if you build from that side.
But just build from the other side.
Who was that?
Angry voice. Oh,
Oh!
he got camera out of range.
It's fine. They don't have double bit X anyway. They're basically useless lumberjacks. As Yo loses some more villagers over on that side. Yo's Eco KD right now 18-5, but he's losing more on that wood line. Does he notice? He still doesn't notice. It's converted Camel Archers.
You're not really expecting them, to be fair.
No, you're not.
What
And
upgrade?
double bit X!
Let's go!
Hey, if only he looked at one of these lumber camps to get it. Then he might have noticed all of the villagers dying over there. Mr. Yo falling behind a little bit now, but he's still ahead in the total villager count.
That's actually pretty sick. That's really sick.
That's such a great raid. 12 kills on those things.
And he's not done yet.
80 villagers for Mr. Yo. He just lost 14 villagers, maybe 15 villagers over here. Imagine if he had 15 extra vills right now. He'd be at 95 vills.
Yeah. That was a crazy find by Hart. He's still somewhat in this.
I mean, Mr. Yo is
That
thinking
castle's
about him.
down.
He's thinking about him,
Can put
but
another
he's
castle.
building up food. He's got a lot of villagers on the fish there. He's got a mangonel now rolling forward to protect the castle. He'll probably think about sending some villagers to repair, but I think it's within range of the castle from Hart, so it's a really, really tough repair on that side.
Oh, there will be lots of micro.
Mangonel has to come in from the other side of the castle, so it doesn't get ranged by the castle from Hart. And that castle from Mr. Yo has lost a lot of HP. You could even make a justification for a few petards to just finish that off if you want, once the ram is gone, or maybe even another ram.
I think the ram will just do the job.
Maybe. Meanwhile, forward being cleared up by Yo. Yo is getting the second wood upgrade now. Hart's eco upgrades also not looking great as Yo comes in. Skirmishers are there. Credit to Hart for that skirmisher switch. I mean, it's been the only thing that's kind of kept him from dying, but he doesn't have the first armor upgrade. So they just die.
Yeah.
They just die for free.
Yeah, that's brutal. Also, he's going for some more pikemen in the spot where we have the castle and could just go for Kamayuks. Hart not happy. Look at that. The sigh on his face.
Yeah. Too many villagers going down. What a strategy there from Mr. Yo. We said it before. He loves the unique units.
Yes.
Caught him off guard.
How many villagers did you kill with those 3 camera archer?
Oh no,
Like tons. I didn't have the first wood upgrade until then.
I haven't had it.
Hart seems a little dejected. And if I know him, he's going to be more angry at himself because of some of the misplays that he did.
Yeah.
And he's going to analyze this, like you said, figure out what he's done wrong and come back even stronger the next time. But I mean, huge credit to Hart. Only 6 players moved on from the 10 here. You look at the list of 10 players. I think on a lot of people's predictions, Hart would have been in that bottom 4. He actually made it through, which is sick.
Just imagine 3 people behind him.
Tato,
absolute beast. Doubt, who he beat
ACCM,
yesterday.
who
ACCM,
had just won our last tournament.
Yeah, that's crazy, and he showed to be so proud of himself for that crazy run. Also leaving Dogao behind him, and obviously now that's the worst moment, right? You know, your tournament run is ending.
You're alone
lots
in
of
the room. Yeah.
Lots of friends are still there.
And you're not sure whether you want to see him or not, you know?
yeah.
It's kind of like, you got to give him some time. But yeah, Mr. Yo, unbelievable. He just gets better and better the deeper he gets into tournaments. And you can see it. Like, he starts off the tournament, he's trying to do all of the other things that other people are doing. He's trying to almost like copy the meta a little bit. And as he gets further along in the tournament, he's like, screw this. I'm just going to do my own thing. It's worked for years. I'm going to do what feels comfortable to me. And obviously, the comfort levels were there, especially in that final map. Beautiful display from Yo.
Have Mr. Yo versus Hera.
Mr. Yo versus
Tomorrow.
Hera. Yep.
It's going to be a banger of a set as well.
Semi-final. That's the rematch of NAC final, right?
Yep, NAC 5 finals indeed. It's going to be a really, really nice one. Whew. Sad to see how it go, but really happy. Yo against Hera. Well, what can we expect there tomorrow?
Craziness. If it goes in Yo's favor, the games are going to be crazy. If it goes in Hera's favor, the games are going to be clinical.
It's kind of what we wanted to see from Hart.
Yep.
Right? But he couldn't get there except on the Arabia game.
Well, Nilly, it's been a pleasure.
Has been.
It's been too long. A few months since we cast together. I miss you.
True.
Except we are never doing a
Surfshock.
segment again because that was just the most brutal
Surfshock.
segment ever. Anyway, Mr. Yo is waiting for the interview right now after an impressive 4-1 win over our first quarterfinals against Hart. He's there with Ellie. He's going to answer all of her questions. And thank you for tuning in. We have another set coming up, Viper versus Vinchester. But before that, Ellie, take it away.
Thank you, Dave. Yo, congratulations. That was an impressive set. Let's go through the standard question. How are you feeling?
I'm pretty amazing. It was my mini goal to go to the top 4. And I'm glad I reached it.
I'm so happy for you. Were you also happy with your Civ draft and how that worked out for you?
Yeah, I got everything I want, and I think I did great with the drafting. I'm not sure about if he's taking everything he wants, but I like mine.
Wonderful. Well, they certainly worked out for you. Do you think you had any reservations going into this match, or did it work out how you expected it to?
Generally, I think, yeah, is the way I picture I will play is the win I picture I would do.
Oh, wonderful. You love how that works out. You dreamed of it, and here it is.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some replays in a moment here. What do you think was the your favorite map of this this set?
I don't have one. I don't like any of them, to be honest.
All right, moving into your game one on Bedouins, how did you feel when both town centers were so close together placed at the beginning?
I didn't know. I didn't know he was that close to me. And I even lost a villager to it, I remember. And I don't think that's a good situation for the Hindustani player, because Gajara's early game is really strong. That's how I end up with.
Yeah, I know it got really dicey in a lot of situations. What do you think you did to recover?
I think I stopped him from expanding outside. Like I make him corner that little side have no resource, and then I just go free boom myself. Also, the castle was important to hold his aggression. Buys me time.
Hart had some really nice micro with his archers and keeping them alive, and was certainly very annoying. But you went for the skirmishers. Hold on, it says doubt on the screen. I hope that's that's just a typo. This is the correct.
No wonder I won. I got doubt in me.
Yeah, and then at the end there, you went for the chakra throwers, and that was, or no, Hart went for the chakra throwers. How did you counter those?
I know they died through hand cannon. That's what I did. So the only problem was I wasn't sure if my economy was behind or ahead until the very last moment. Then I see my score went up, and then I knew I got this.
Then you knew.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. When we went into number 2 there on Citadel, you were playing the Aztecs and Dravidians. What do you think are the current state of the Meso civs today?
I like them, and I think Meso civs are my favorite civs so far. So, and I play them a lot, and I like their approach with eagles and monks, and yeah, they're my civ.
Yeah. So I think traditionally maybe like Aztecs and Mayans were a little bit better than the Incas. Do you think that's still the same, or do you think Incas with their recent patch updates are now contenders?
Actually, I think Inca is the best. Not sure about Mayan and Aztec, but I'll say they're kind of like same level. But Inca is definitely better.
So you won the water here quite early, and did that change your strategy, or was that part of the plan all along?
No, my plan was to lose the water. Somehow I won, but I guess he shot a ball with his TC, right?
He did. Did you know that? Did he?
Yeah, I
mention that
found out
after?
when I saw him making a meal. Like that's usually not gonna happen this early, at least.
I have to say, it was looking really good for Hart at parts of this game. And I thought there were times where he was going to take this victory. And then you came out with the monk micro, and you had me converted. And then I knew. It was looking very good for you there. Do you think the monks were the key to this victory?
Yeah. That's the whole point of picking Aztec, right? You go for the monks. They never die.
Yeah, you also went for the relics. I think you had 3, if I remember correctly. You had a couple.
Yeah.
And then they certainly helped with the gold.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that stood out for you in this game?
What? Sorry?
Is there anything else that stood out to you in this game that was interesting, noteworthy?
I mean, selling the storm and going for fast castle, that's the key, I guess.
Well, you played really well, and you got got that victory. Game number 3 on Arabia, Hearts Malians versus your Vietnamese. How did you feel about that Civ matchup?
I think Vietnam's way better than Malian, but somehow I effed up.
Can you expand on that?
But in ladder, I always lose to Hart. You know, he's a great Arabia player. It makes sense I lose that game, and he played amazing.
I think there are also some really good Expo conversions that were had that killed a lot of villagers in the later state of the game, which was really, really nice. What did you think about this castle? Because it seems like dropping forward castles is something that you feel really confident doing.
I was desperate because I knew I was behind in economy. I think I did a mistake there. I shouldn't place another castle in the front. Maybe I should build one at home to stop him from raiding.
So when you're watching replays, specifically replays of your losses, what are you looking for in how do you plan to improve?
Like I'm looking for mistakes. Like this castle is a mistake, and I got a micro.
So if you were playing this one again, where would you place this castle?
Back in my base.
Back at the base. To
maybe in front of the TC. Yeah, should be better.
Yeah, well, Hart played here really, really well with the Malian Civ, and it was a great victory for him. Is there anything that you were really impressed by? I know Hart really plays a lot of Arabia and thrives on this map, so what impresses you about Hart as a player?
You mean in this game?
Generally speaking, but specifically in this game.
He's fast. And his economy is amazing. And in this game, he did a decision, which is great. Like normally with Malian, you always go for the ballistic because they do it faster. But this game, I think Hart skip it until very late. He started with 3TC first and with strong economy.
Yeah, and it was a really nice push with all of those trebs. Then we moved into High Tides, Byzantines versus Mongols. I already mentioned that I'm a big fan of the Mongols.
Yep.
How did you feel up against the Byzantines?
I like it. Byzantine is a civ that is kind of slow, you know. But he did great with the early aggression, and he was harassing my water all the time. At a point, I was worried my economy was not dead ahead. But I think the key here is I kill all of his skirmisher before he went to Castle Age, so he cannot go to Elite Skirmisher, which is huge.
And the Byzantines do have those discounted skirmishers, so I was surprised that you also went for your skirms, but you just had the greater numbers.
Yeah, because I have the fish.
No, it was really, really well played. Watching this back, do you think there's anything, like what advice would you give to Hart if you were playing in his shoes?
I would save those skirmishers to Castle Age to do Elite. I wouldn't throw them out.
Well, a lot of people think that skirmishers are trash units. I think they're worth their weight in gold.
But that's my
sure.
favorite unit.
So last game here, Incas versus the Berbers. You mentioned you're a big fan of the Incas, so how did you feel being matched up against them?
I was kind of worried, like every time you see Meso, you sense something different, right? Yeah, that's what he did. He did forward with Siege and Monk. But I think he didn't expect me to go for the Camel Archer because he was upgrading his Pikeman.
Yeah, were you expecting such a strong aggression early on in the game?
Yeah, but I didn't know like which way. It could be like Monk Rush or just skirms and Mangonel. I had no idea.
So when you cleaned up his skirmishers here, I believe shortly thereafter, you decided to also go with that forward castle. And I think you were still ahead in this game. Can you explain your thought process here, why you decided to go so aggressively forward?
It was kind of a moment. I was wondering why he's not resigning. So I just went for that castle. Then I saw my villager dying in my woodline. Like I lost like 20 or something.
Yeah, to the
Then I
converted.
told myself, that's why.
That's
why he's
yeah,
not
the
resigned.
converted two camel archers certainly were very, very helpful. Do you think there's a reason why it took you so long to notice, or were you just distracted with the
I
aggression
was
forward?
distracted heavily, and I didn't do the first upgrade.
Yeah, the eco upgrades came in quite late for you.
I thought I was playing good this game until that moment.
Well, you ended up getting the victory here anyway, and what a victory it was with that castle aggression in the front here. What do you think it was that was the final nail in Hart's coffin there for that game?
I think he lost that game a long time ago. I don't know, maybe he saw my score went down. He knew I was clicking imp, and he didn't have the economy for it. I can just take a guess.
We certainly can't blame Hart for trying in his quarterfinals, and it was such an intense moment there at the end. So with this victory under your belt, you're going to be advancing into the semifinals up against Hera tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling going into that?
Oh, some pressure against Hera. Yeah, I'll try my best.
How's your next day going to look like in preparation for that?
I think we are done with the preparation. I think at this moment we play so many rounds. It's all about getting myself ready, I guess.
And do you have I don't want to say ritual, but something that you like to do? Maybe it's a warm bath or a boba, something like that before the game?
Boba, cigarette, and shower. Maybe a League of Legends game, playing Yasuo.
Ah, okay, warming up those fingers. Perfect. Well, you certainly deserve a well-deserved break here. We're going to be heading into the Winchester versus Viper set next.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any predictions on what we'll be seeing there?
I think Winchester play amazing in this tournament. I think he will win, but something like 4-3 or 4-2.
I think, and I hope actually we're in for a long one. I would really like to see an intense competitive set. And from Winchester and Viper, I can't imagine having a non-competitive set. So sure going to look forward to that. Would you like to say anything else to your friends, family, fans watching?
We did it again.
We did it again. Perfect. I'm so happy for you, and I really look forward to watching you play tomorrow.
Okay.
So take a well-deserved break, and we'll hope to see you on the couch supporting either Viper or Winchester. And thank you again for the interview. GG's again.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, relaxed and in peace.
Yeah. Thank you.